team from falling off the track. Football is back, Jack. Whether on the ground or through the air, when the chips are down and you throw a prayer, when your team is primed and on the hunt, it's 4th and 10, you refuse to punt. When the shoulder pads and helmets crack, that's how you know that football is back, Jack. Let me hear you say, football is back, Jack. This high is wild and out of control, and we're gonna ride it every week till we reach the Super Bowl. Don't need no check downs, give me big hits and quarterbacks. If you say this game's the best, I'll say it's a gag. Football is back, Jack. Football is back, Jack. Football is back. Football is back, Jack.
If you've been listening for a long time, or even if you haven't been, you know that Billy is clever and quick. Eager? Not so much. And I've never seen you as eager as you were to say anything as you were there to say that last year a defensive player won the Heisman Trophy.
What do you mean?
Travis Hunter did indeed win the Heisman Trophy last year. Can you guys tell me the last time a defensive lineman was invited to the ceremony? I'm just curious.
I know Aiden Hutchinson finished second, and that was very recently. What's going on with Travis Hunter and the Jags? I mean, he's getting the snap count of a backup tight end over there. He's not really playing on defense. He's not being good at anything right now. He was supposed to be good at two things.
Draft a guy high and don't use him. Right? Like, now we're in next level 4D chess. By the way,
high, they traded up to get him.
Yeah, they don't have a pick next year, right?
That's true. You're in trouble, by the way.
I'm in trouble?
Oh, well, buddy, are you in trouble?
Why am I in trouble?
Oh, you're the head of this company, right?
Yeah?
Yeah. Look at these crutches. There is a lawsuit coming. Yeah. Very litigious, by the way.
Don't tip your hand.
No, I want it to be known. No, it's not tipping my hand. Wait till he finds out who my attorney is. You're in trouble.
Who's your attorney?
Don't worry about it. I don't want to tip my hand on that. Just know my people are going to be contacting your people, and you're in trouble.
If you do not know, Tony injured himself kicking field goals. He missed all the field goals. The thing that was most injured was his pride. Before we get to that and all the things going on locally, Roy, what is the punishment you're serving today? I feel like you look sad, you look forlorn, and I think it's because Zaslow did Tommy Topper on the punishment with you, and I feel like you were going to get the big celebration for being the old-timey baseball player today, but you got usurped by Zaz over here.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Dan, and you just said an old-timey baseball player. That's what I'm dressed up as. I have the mustache, the fake mustache on my face right now, and these baggy, baseball uniform.
It suits you. The look it's a good look for you. You look like somebody who was hitting like 275 as a speedy outfielder. I
was.
Oh, come on, Dan. What? Looks more like a catcher.
It's just how he looks.
Looks like an airplane
He does
pilot
not
to
look
me.
like a catcher.
I was that too.
He does not
What are you
look like
doing?
a catcher.
What are you doing? You got him in center field.
He's talking about stoutness. Roy is not a stout guy. Catchers are stout.
I will let you guys explain what it is Zaz is doing.
Minor penalty, 2 minutes. Accidental racism.
Look at him. He wanted to go out this way.
Yeah. I don't know if you can hear me, but it was indeed Aiden Hutchinson in 2021, the last defensive player invited to the Heisman ceremony.
All right. There you go.
Well, outside of last year's winner that Billy noted, Travis Hunter.
There you go. I got to tell you something. This is not a bad getup. I can understand why folks, men in particular, used to dress like this to go to sleep. It's a good getup.
Do you often just sit crisscross applesauce in your bed?
No.
Lay down, dude. Lay down.
Yeah.
Get comfortable. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. Be careful. Be
feel
careful
a few
with
things
the package.
here.
Yeah.
All right.
There we go. Let's see. What are the sheets, by the way? What are those sheets? What do you got going on there?
Oh, look at this.
Construction.
Look at
site?
me. Come on. Yeah, these are my sheets. These are nice sheets. I can take a little schluff here during the show.
Let's talk some Barkov. Why are you dressed like that? Like, what is
This
the
is how I
punishment?
dress when I sleep. What are you questioning me like that for?
But it's just
I don't
like-
ask you how you sleep.
Okay.
You look
Well, I
like
mean,
one of the Three Stooges.
What do you wear? Just regular clothes? I'm trying to get comfortable when I sleep.
What do you wear to sleep, Billy?
Just shorts and a shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that weird? Sometimes, pajama
I just go
pants.
boxer briefs, no shirt.
Really?
Sometimes socks.
Yeah.
This is what I wear. I wear a gown and I wear a nightcap.
I'm a big go to sleep with the socks on, but at some point I'm taking those bad boys off. And some point I'm doing the awkward thing where you got to reach down and take off.
No, that's a hammy pull waiting to happen.
I know.
Yeah.
It's a cramp often.
The cramp, yeah.
Sometimes I wake up and I'm wearing different clothes than I fell asleep in.
Probably.
And then I remember
That seems to be
I
a
was
problem.
wearing sweatpants and a long sleeve shirt or a hoodie. And then I wake up and I see.
Can't demanda. Why are you wearing a hoodie and a long sleeve?
I don't know. I think maybe I think maybe I was born in the wrong environment. I love to hang out in sweats, like a hoodie, nice sweatpants. I have these Patrick Mahomes sweatpants that are incredible. Love them. I got them on sale. They haven't seen them on sale since. So I'm not. I love Patrick Mahomes sweatpants. Adidas, if you're listening, send them my way. I'm not paying full price for Patrick Mahomes sweatpants.
What do you keep the house at that you're walking around in sweatpants and a hoodie?
It's a good question. What is a normal temperature?
I keep the house around 70.
Yeah, I'm I
That's
like
cold.
That's pretty cold.
Is it?
I'm a 72, 73 man.
No,
No,
that's-
73.
that's hot.
We're already trying to call Carlos the air conditioning guy to figure out
Exactly
why
right.
it's not going lower
I'm
than
74.
74.
Do not invite me to your terrarium.
Are you an animal?
I'm 74. I don't know what to tell you, man.
Jeez.
Maybe my AC is better than yours.
Nah, I
maybe
don't
you got
No,
one
it's
of those.
definitely not. If it only goes to 74,
Yeah, that
that
thing is
sucks.
old.
No,
Yeah.
maybe you got one of those Bobo ACs.
That's one of those old Manor ACs
Exactly
that doesn't really
right.
work. He needs the air
What do you
to
put?
come in.
You bit like a big ass ice cube and then you put fans on it and then
Great
blow it onto
question,
yourself?
Tony.
Like, what is that?
No, I mean
right.
I got that good AC that it's
Nah,
74. It blows that good
74.
wind.
74 is bad AC.
Dan seems like a 68
Good
guy.
AC gets you down
No,
to 66.
Dan looks to me like a 77 guy. Like he keeps
That's
the
a
doors
furnace.
open.
Felt our studios, dude?
Are you insane? Chris has got it exactly right. I'll dip right under the 70s. I don't know why Zaz is sleeping in a terrarium. Like it's crazy to be in South Florida, sleeping mid 70s in South Florida. But what is your punishment, Zaz? You just have to do the whole show from a bed.
Yeah.
And I want to ask the group here.
Get my comfort on.
Who in sports do you guys think of and say is most likely to sleep in that outfit? Because I'm going to start the bidding with Lou Holtz.
You love a gown. Being visited by the ghost of Christmas past.
He's a separate bed guy, right?
Yeah.
Ricky Ricardo style?
Yeah. I got George Carl.
Jerry Sloan, R.I.P.
Oh.
Hubie Brown.
No,
92 years old, Hubie Brown. He celebrated a birthday 2 weeks ago. 92.
Hubie Brown is good. And
Let's find the guy below 60, though. Let's make
no,
this tough.
but it doesn't. It really doesn't.
Pete
it doesn't
Carroll.
like-
He's not over 60, but not under
Miles
60, but
Garrett.
Pete Carroll.
Miles Garrett is actually a really good one.
Wow.
That is.
That's now you're
Wow,
playing the game.
you're on one today, Billy.
It doesn't work when
No,
you
it
say
does.
DK Metcalf. No, it
no,
doesn't.
it does not work.
No, but Miles, he's got an old soul.
Not that old. What
It
is that
works.
called? What is this? Is it called a sleeping cap?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it's a nightcap.
Nightcap.
Russell Wilson?
nightcap like Shannon Sharp and Ocho Cinco sleeping in that.
Yeah, they stole it from me.
I want to get to some news that Zaslow is in and around in sports. As you know, he is continuing to climb in the industry. He is a star on Saturdays on ESPN Radio around college football. And, Mark Schlereth was on the show, was on Zaslow Show 2.0, which is also climbing, rocketing up the charts now. And Mark Schlereth was on his show, so I want to get to some of that sound, and I also want to get to the sound of Eric Spoelstra. But let's start with Schlereth. Zaslow has been on a kick or a punch. He's been on a run here where he is saying that he needs to and wants to eradicate punching from football. And Mark Schlereth, who Mike Ryan has mocked as a manly man, he's more manly than any of us around here. Mark Schlereth, I'm curious about what his opinion is on the idea that everybody in football is punching other people.
If you miss the ball and you're just punching a player instead of tackling him, do you think, is that okay?
Hey, it's okay with me, but I played in a time where there was some frontier justice in the league. I get pissed watching guys just take it, the way we do the defense. Like, hey man, we'll change the rules to make it more offensive friendly. That stuff bothers me. So punching, hey, if you accidentally catch someone in the jaw, hey, them's the breaks. That's the way it works.
embarrassing that he's talking to legends of the game, okay? Mark Schlereth, Man 101, and he's asking him about punching.
Yeah, I don't agree with Stink in that spot, but I wasn't about to tell him right
How
there.
about that? You stink.
What do you mean I stink?
You stink.
Did a hurricane hit his house that we're unaware of? Like the AC goes down to 74. He does a show in the dark. Like what's going on at the Manor, man?
Ever heard of lights, buddy?
Okay, First of all, it's a mansion, but it's funny that you bring up the lighting because I cannot figure out how to get the lighting to work in the Zaslow Mansion
Just
studios.
turn them on. How about that?
Switches are hard for
believe
you?
it or not, my lights are on. I have 3 ring lights, and there's like foreground lighting, background lighting, midground bullshit. I don't know. I can't figure it out.
I got a guy. I'll send it over to your house.
Yes, send somebody over to help me with my lighting.
Tony's always got a guy, and that guy.
My guy's Danny B. Danny,
You got
go up
that
there.
lighting guy.
Tony has always got a guy. But Spo was talking, and I want to get this was a very unusual place to get my Barkov news. But Spo, who rarely says anything that's newsworthy, did say something about Barkov that we'll get to in a second. But the first thing that he did, and the sound that I want to get to first, guys, I don't want to go to the Barkov sound first. I want to get to the sound that, again, illustrates how it is that Zaz is rising in the business. We've been trying to get Eric Spoelstra. I've been personally asking for Eric Spoelstra to come do South Beach sessions.
What's the problem?
And I can't get him to do it. And he won't do it. I've been asking for 2.5 years. Riley's come over here, but Spo won't do it.
Should have come to me. Maybe I'll help you.
Well, I don't understand how it is that he ended up on your podcast. So let's play some of the sound here as to why and how he ended up on Zaslow Show 2.0.
Hey, Zaz, here's to many, many more years for you and I doing this, all right? I remember you came up in the business doing this.
I appreciate you. Thank you, Coach.
Spo,
That's right.
Spo, you and I also came up in the business.
Not like me and him.
I don't understand why you won't come on this show.
But did you talk to him before? You're like, oh, it's the video nerd.
I talked to him when he was retrieving free throws. He'd retrieve the free throws, although he did that as the head coach
Zaslow's
too.
smile when
But like,
Spo was saying
what
that.
did what did you say to him? Like, how's your day going? Or like, get me a coffee, nerd. Like, I feel I put it out there. This seems like a personal thing.
Yeah, a little bit.
You think that I went over to the Heat facility and said to the video coordinator, get me a coffee, nerd, the way that Conor McGregor did to Nick Diaz when he was being interviewed on on that business show a million years ago when it introduced us to Conor McGregor, because he said, see if you can find me that sound of Conor McGregor talking to Nick Diaz and just telling Nick Diaz to go get him coffee. And
You asking Chris or Spo to do that for you? Because like that's the problem.
Billy,
here.
go get me a cup of coffee, please.
Oh, you're not gonna like what's gonna be in it. Special cream, if you know what I mean.
Whoa.
Billy's on one this week.
Walnut milk.
The Jane
Almond
Levy
milk.
stuff.
Take it easy.
What's
happening?
But thank you for the segue. That allows me to get to, and I didn't think this is where we'd end up this quickly in the show, Big Ten coaches talking about whether they like cream in their coffee or not. I always enjoy seeing these coaches who are professional salesmen put on the spot to be funny or interesting, and they have trouble doing it because they're made out of starch dry cleaning. And so they're all just asked here how they take their coffee, and not a one of them can be entertaining. Mike, what do you have here?
As Spencer Hall outlined, keep an eye out for how terrifying Kirk Cignetti is.
I mean, lately I've been on the just black coffee, so I'm good with it plain.
Black. Yeah. Just a little bit of cream in there. That's it. Black coffee.
Honey. I don't drink coffee.
I'm trying to become a black coffee guy, which I absolutely hate, but I'm trying to embrace it. It's been about a 3-year battle.
Oh, cream or sugar, nothing. It has to be black.
It's got to be black, and it's got to be, fairly strong.
Ice, extra that frozen whip, like it's more whip than it is coffee. 'Cause I just got into this whole coffee thing. I grew up on Mountain Dews and Red Bulls.
Not anything longer than one word.
I don't really drink a ton of coffee, but when I do, whatever it is, extra pumps of syrup.
Oh gosh, black, no cream, no sugar.
Original, straight black, no cream, no sugar.
I can watch every coach tell me about coffee, by the way. But it reminded me of this GOAT clip of one of the greatest personalities to ever be a head coach in college football, Mike Leach. This was an interview when he was at Mississippi State with Marty Smith talking about coffee.
What's the best way to take your coffee? Well, coffee tastes terrible anyway, so don't put anything in it to obstruct the harsh, bitter taste, and just put it down one sip at a time, you know? So it's just all about the effect. The taste, it's not about the experience at all. It's about the outcome. No, the experience is terrible.
See, that guy got it.
Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. How do you take your coffee, black or not? Because I'm surprised by the number of guys there who aren't putting anything in their coffee. We'll get to that Conor McGregor sound in a second, but there's some other things that I want to talk about here locally. First of all, 4 years, $62 million, the Miami Heat are giving Jovic. Are we surprised by that? Now, I remember being on the air with Woj when he told us what Tyler Johnson was going to get from the Nets in free agency. And it changed salaries forevermore in that sport in a way that made me not understand anymore how it is that they were doing it. When Tyler Johnson ends up in a bidding war and the Brooklyn Nets are giving him roughly this amount of money, it changed the landscape. The Miami Heat believe that Jovic can be Danilo Gallinari. Jovic is somebody who plays very well off of Bam. He's a good shooter, and he's very young. He's 22 years old. What did you guys think of that contract? I still defer to the Heat on these things. I still am assuming that they know all sorts of things that I don't know about how a player can grow and what a player looks like in practice to make him the ninth guy that they're guaranteeing this money. They are saying that this is a part of our future, and we believe him to be valuable. And if you believe some of the reporting this offseason, you will also believe that Jovic was not a piece that they were willing to get rid of for anybody, for any of the Kevin Durants that might have been available.
I think it's really easy to be skeptical of it because they're giving a player $15 million a year, which, by the way, in today's NBA is not a lot of money, but they're giving $15 million a year to a guy who has kind of done nothing so far. So we've been waiting for 4 years for this guy who they seemingly love to do something. So I can understand the skepticism, but two things. Number one, I always like to trust the coaches who see the player every single day. You're sitting in your chair. Some people may be lying in a bed with a nightgown on, all right? They see Jovic every day. So I kind of trust that they're not just giving out the money for no reason. And the second part is, hey, in a salary cap sport, the way that you beat the salary cap is by getting the really good player at the really good value. So, yeah, there's some risk here, but they probably believe that the reward is greater.
It's not much risk because this is an average salary. The average NBA player, this is what the average NBA player makes, and he can't opt out for 4 years. Mike, why are you making faces on this?
He had a lot of DMP coaches' decisions. I was shocked to find out Jovic is getting $64 million. I know that the average rate of a medium level basketball player in the NBA is about that, but it's still shocking to see a guy that for large stretches of his time here in Miami, Eric Spoelstra didn't trust to put in the game.
It's also kind of a low risk thing, right? Like it's $60 million in this NBA. It's like, okay, $15 million a year. Like, what are you going to do with that? You could trade him in 2 seconds.
He's not an above-average player yet. He's being paid above-average salary. The average salary in the league is $14.1 million. They're giving him $15.6.
What does this do in terms of like the cap and financial flexibility? Because the reason that they weren't making moves is because they were saving the money to do stuff, and now they've signed a player that you guys aren't very high on the signing. So is this now preventing them from going whale hunting again?
I'm glad you brought that up because this idea of flexibility, which the Heat have been preaching forever. I'm so tired of it. This idea of flexibility and cap space, it's nonsense. That's not how today's NBA works. You don't get really good players. You don't get star players in free agency anymore. When's the last big star player that you got that hit free agency? You get players via trade, and that means having as many assets and tradable players as possible. So, yeah, you know what? They got what they think is a good player at $15 million a year. That's how you acquire star players, is by having players on your roster who are tradable, not having salary cap space.
The play-in game against the Hawks, I believe that's the last game we saw the Miami Heat win. Jovic was a DMP coach's decision. It's just hard.
No, he just came back from injury, though. That's not fair.
He was available. Eric Spoelstra did not put him in there, and this was a guy that went through a run in December where the coach didn't trust him either. So I'm just saying, I understand Gallinari comparisons, and I know that the Heat have always been high on him. It's hard for me to wrap my brain around it.
It's not just high. At the introductory press conference, Pat Riley said, quote, "We're going to hang this from the rafters one day." That's a little bit higher than high. It's literally high when he's talking. I don't know whether it's drugs high or rafters high, but it's literally high what we're talking about. They will have no cap space next summer if Wiggins opts in. I don't know if Wiggins is going to opt in at twice that salary. It's $30 million on Wiggins, and I don't know if Wiggins thinks he can get more money than that.
I hope he does opt in. Salary cap space is gone. It doesn't mean anything. I hope he does opt in. Use $30 million of his salary to trade.
They'll have the large mid-level is what they'll have if Wiggins does opt in. Let's get to Spo, though, on the Barkov injury, because I hadn't heard anybody else saying this. I don't know if I'm supposed to believe this, because it doesn't sound accurate or right that Barkov would only miss 5 or 6 months with an ACL and MCL tear. If he only misses 5 or 6 months, he would be ready in time for the playoffs, which doesn't seem like that's possible. But let's hear Spo saying something I don't hear anybody else saying.
It's been an electrifying run that they've had the last 3 seasons, and he's a major part of it. And yes, he has the talent. But then when you start diving into what everybody says about his character, his leadership, his mentorship, it's about all the right things, but he moves a locker room because of what he's about. That's real talent. I see those kind of possibilities with Bam. But everybody else, it's inspiring to see that. And it is heartbreaking, to see him in crutches. But then you talk to him and you say, "Oh, no worries. I'll be back in 5 or 6 months." And, I love that spirit. I'm sure their medical staff will be 7 to 9. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I love that guy. I love everything he's about.
Coach Spo breaking hockey news.
You could see Spo's face when they said 7 to 9. He's like, "Oh shoot, I just said something."
Yeah.
I thought what he was saying was like, okay, you doubt him at 7 to 9. He told me 5 or 6. Go bleep yourself, Barry Jackson. That's what I got off him.
I hope it was European doctors. What they're doing over in soccer. I saw a dude come back from an Achilles injury in 4 months in Europe. So they're doing some good stuff over there. But everybody speaks about Barkey that way, and Barkey's been a long-time basketball fan.
Moves the locker room.
He's often at Heat games. He's been at FAU basketball games. Paul Maurice was asked about the next man up mentality that is attributed often to hockey, and he said there's no next man up for Sasha Barkov. You cannot replace what he brings.
First of all, shout out to one of the guys I came up with, Heat head coach Eric Spoelstra. But the Barkov comments are so interesting because we've been hearing about this for a couple of years with him now, and publicly he looks like the dullest, most ordinary, no personality guy, Sasha Barkov. Heck, he never celebrates. He's never happy when he scores. That's what I do, But then you hear guys who talk about this is his room. It's his dressing room. He's the leader. He's why all of this is happening. It's like there's something there with him that on the outside we obviously are not privy to, but is clearly a very real thing.
Thank you. But if we are going to have the conversation about who kind of steps in, it's Lundell, right? If you have to say which guy has
You can't be calling him Baby Barkov for the last 2 years and not expect, okay, hey, man, this is the time.
He's been the guy that kind of steps in when Barkov does miss
We
games.
got to be careful with this camera angle with Zaslow.
Why?
It's
I
dangerous.
saw his balls.
It's the old dog.
Roy's analysis initially was a friendly reminder here, and I understand we're all looking to Lundell. It's obvious he's going to have to probably move up a line. It'll be interesting to see how that shakes out, Baby Barkov and all that. But the guy that probably should have won the Selke is also on this roster. It's Sam Reinhart. He's the guy that's going to do the things defensively that allow the Florida Panthers to keep their defensive identity. And Lundell, they had they had such a gift in that they had 3 centermen. Well, 4. And Noshik is also out for a while, too. They had 4 centermen that could just keep the pressure and maintain their defensive identity. They're going to need to find that. There's going to be a weaker line on Florida, and that's not something that we've seen this incarnation of the Panthers have recently.
Yeah, we're lucky that this team is pretty deep to get a Brand Marchand that they can shift over to center as well.
That's my dog.
Who gets the A? Because we're not going to give anyone a C, but we're going to probably add an A, right? Who gets the A? Reinhardt?
Oh, he already
Or
has
Bennett?
one. He already has
Reinhardt?
one.
Oh, Reinhardt already had one?
Yeah,
So
it's one of those
Bennett.
home and road situations.
But will
where-
they add an A with Barkov being out for a
They
year?
don't really have
Damn it!
to.
I want Bennett to get an A. So bad.
Why?
Because he deserves one.
Yeah.
Because of that shift.
I did forget about the Conn Smythe winner. That's something.
What a shift.
He's
A shift.
Oh,
what a shift.
Yeah.
What a shift.
I forgot Sam Bennett took less to stay here. Man, they're a good team. They can make the playoffs, guys.
It is rare, though.
They're back, baby.
It is rare for Paul Maurice or a coach of any kind to say no next man up with this person because every coach is always saying no excuses. I don't want to hear it. Show me the baby. Don't tell me about the labor. But we've got coaches in this market who say things sometimes, Spo's not one of them, that other coaches don't say. So how about we look here at what Mike McDaniel had to say when he was asked about the time so far to describe how he would characterize so far Cam Smith's time in Miami. He says, it's been time.
Man, vibes are bad around this guy. Like
Second round pick. I mean, Chris Greer needs to look in the mirror with this one.
Right. Isn't that Mike McDaniel trying to be as not disrespectful as possible to Chris Greer, right?
No, that's pretty disrespectful. That's
more a shot at Cam Smith. I wish I would have done this a while ago, is what he's saying there.
How would you characterize Cam Smith's time in Miami? Time is disrespectful.
Who's he taking the shot at, though?
It's just general disrespect spewed like acid into the air with one syllable. It's exceptionally efficient acid.
Well, I mean, but they have to be fighting at this point. Like, if you're McDaniel and you're Greer, someone's got to go. Like, now is when there needs to be a line drawn in the sand and they need to be taking shots at each other.
That's
correct?
McDaniel saying that's a Greer guy.
Well, if that's the case, and I don't know that's the case, Billy, you're saying some things. If that's the case, don't forget, when Brian Flores was here, for like the last year that Flores was here, him and Greer weren't talking to each other anymore. So if we're in a place, and I don't know they are, Billy, you're saying crazy things. If we're in a place where McDaniel and Greer maybe not on the same page, just saying.
Do you figure you take McDaniel on that side of the lines?
Of course.
Right? You got to let go of Greer and be like, hey, buddy, you've had 2 different coaches. You've had 2 different times to get these things right, and you continue to not do it.
I don't want to sit here and defend Mike McDaniel, but if we have to say which of them have shown us they are more capable of doing their job, I think it's Mike McDaniel.
I mean, but Chris Greer got Tyreek Hill.
That's fair.
And that kind of turned around.
I didn't get him for a bag of chips. They gave up a
I know,
lot
but
to
that
get him.
turned around the Dolphins.
The Chiefs wanted to do it too, though, right? Like, if the Chiefs didn't want to do it, he wouldn't be here.
Well, I think that the Jets were the ones that were supposed to end up with him, and then they were able to pull it off at the last minute.
Guess how they did that? By offering more money. So, does Chris Greer get a thumbs up because you gave more of Stephen
Billy's
Ross's
right.
money?
That was a good move. Come on. That helped the Dolphins.
I'm just saying, if you, and Watkins was good, but he ended up leaving because they didn't re-sign him, but they drafted him, and that worked out. He got some of the pieces that Mike McDaniel gets the credit for making work. I think both of them should go. I think they've both been kind of a disaster so far and a disappointment with what it is that the expectations were the last couple of years. But I mean, you can't just say Mike McDaniel is the one that gets all the credit when Chris Greer brought in the pieces for Mike McDaniel.
But we do this all the time in sports, right? All the credit, none of the credit, some of the credit. The fact is, Chris Greer has had more time in that position than any GM in the league who never wins anything. That's a fact. That's not even my opinion. That GMs do not get to keep their jobs that long. And ultimately, if I give any GM in the league, Billy, I'm not kidding you, me or you in charge of the Dolphins, we're going to hit on something. If I give somebody 10 years and I never have to win a playoff game, I could just go out there and keep making moves. Some of them are going to work.
No, I mean, I'm telling you, I think that they both probably need to go at this point in time. But without Tyreek Hill on this team, I don't think Mike McDaniel ever looks the way that we thought Mike McDaniel would look.
We will see this weekend because you guys argued with me recently when I said that Tua needs Tyreek Hill more than Tyreek Hill needs Tua. And you specifically read the stats to me of what Hill does when Tua's not out and what Tua does when Hill is out. And this weekend, with a road game in Carolina, I expect them to lose. I expect them to continue getting gashed right up the middle, even though Carolina stinks, because I think every team in the league is going to run on the Dolphins this year.
That team is bad.
Yep, and so are the Dolphins.
But they put up 30 like 2 weeks ago. Like the Dolphins are going to make Carolina look good this weekend. I don't know that they're going to lose, but what you need is Jalen Waddle to play like a number one receiver that he was drafted to be and is paid to be. And he hasn't been so far. So, like, he needs to come in and he needs to step up. We were talking about this off air yesterday. We're like, well, what happens now that Tyreek's done? Where are the touches going to go? And then the conversation became, Malik Washington will probably get some of those touches, and he'll probably become the number one guy. And it's like, that's a problem. When you're paying Jalen Waddle what you're paying him, Malik Washington is not going to be your Tyreek Hill. That's not what you can have happen.
When you look at that draft 2021, you look at the guys who were taken directly in front and directly behind Jalen Waddle, and in front was Jamar Chase and behind was Penei Sewell, and you're like, damn, Jalen Waddle, you're getting mentioned with guys that are trajectory Hall of Fame guys, and you're not even talked about on your team as the number one guy. You're talking about Nick Westbrook-Akine looking good.
I mean, Jalen Waddle was the number one guy the year before Tyreek Hill got here. Jalen Waddle had 100 catches.
Lay down in the bed and serve your punishment the way that you're supposed to serve your punishment. I don't
look
want
away because I'm gathering.
Look, you're already doing that in a way that makes me deeply uncomfortable. We're looking right up your gown. When it comes to the Dolphins, and I understand why we do this, okay? Nationally and regionally. The only players talked about on the Dolphins are the players who are on offense. So when you say Waddle and Tua and Washington, I'm saying Carolina's just going to hold the ball all game. I believe that Dolphin defense is going to have all sorts of trouble getting off the field all season, and I believe no one's going to do it for them the way that the Jets did, just turning the ball over 3 times and having 174 penalties in the game.
No, the defense, I mean, the thing is you go into the game knowing the defense is bad, and they're going to give up a ton of yards, and they're going to give up a ton of points, which is why the offense needs to respond and put up a ton of points. And if they can't, then you're not going to win many games.
I don't have confidence in anything the Dolphins are doing traveling. They are a favorite in the game, and as I mentioned after the Jets game, I thought that game had a lot more to do with the Jets losing it than the Dolphins winning it, because I've not seen a single team look more undisciplined than the Jets did in that game, with the number of penalties, pre-snap penalties. They couldn't get their shifts right, the number of false starts, and then as well, they gave up 3 turnovers to a team who can't create turnovers.
I will say the Panthers do have Austin Corbett and Robert Hunt. They're 2 offensive linemen that will be on injured reserve. They're 2 offensive linemen they just lost for 4 weeks, so that could give the Dolphins an edge.
They will not.
I'm sold.
You guys haven't been listening to Dan. Dan's talking about they're going to run up the field on the Dolphins, and they're missing 2 of their offensive linemen.
Your lack of conviction in how you petered out is what I'm laughing at, given the state of the franchise.
Your general lack of confidence in talking about...
It was Austin Corbett that really got me. I was like, is it Corbett?
Do it again one more time because you messed it up there, too.
You got Austin wrong.
Austin Corbett and Robert Hunt, former Dolphin. A Dolphin should have paid, honestly.
We all reacted the same way to you leaking confidence at the end of your analysis.
I get it. You don't like my facts.
Carolina offensive line
Disprove your
play.
point, Dan. It's fine.
I picked up Rico Dowdle. Dude, I'm waiting for fantasy
Hubbard's
breakout
hurt,
this week.
too. Hubbard's day-to-day with a calf. We don't know what he's going to do.
Aha.
Put it on the poll. Is Hubbard day-to-day with a calf?
That's not what the season was supposed to be about, was it?
I'm going to get to tying a bow on this segment by getting to that Conor McGregor, Nick Diaz sound in a second, because it was funny.
It was Nate. It's always a dangerous game, man.
My bad.
You should have just said Diaz.
My bad.
Or Diaz if you're arrepentido.
But before the FSU game of the weekend, Mike, how did your live stream go? And
it was disastrous.
What?
Yeah, it was just Sedano was on. We couldn't see him. All sorts of. There's always some tech thing. But
he's changed.
Hollywood George.
You know, he spent more time out there on the air than he's spent in this market. It's kind of crazy. What? He's an LA guy. He's not even a Miami guy anymore. But
looks like it.
He was great. We were bad, but either way, I learned a little bit more about FSU, trying to figure out. I do have a prediction for this game. And I think Miami is going to trail for the first time all season in Tallahassee, and I'm curious to see how they respond. If you're looking for pathways for FSU to win, it's probably got to be a shootout. They obviously need to score points. They're not going to win a low-scoring game because that means Miami's controlling the pace. But if you look at the home road splits for Carson Beck last year, now let me contextualize. A lot of top 6 defenses that Carson Beck went on the road against. I mean, you're talking about an NIL budget of, close to $60 million just on the defensive side alone of the teams that he's playing. But at home, 21-2 touchdown to interception ratio. On the road, 7 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. So it's a little concerning there. And I do think that there's a pathway and a raucous atmosphere, and we got to see this team do it on the road.
I mentioned last year early with Cam Ward, and it would be the same analysis that I have this year. Early with Cam Ward, in some of those early games, what I was saying is we have now seen the way Miami will lose if they lose. They will lose in a shootout like they almost lost at California last year. I think we've also seen this year how Miami will lose if it loses, which is their quarterback turns the ball over and puts them in bad positions. I do not believe their defense will lose them this football game, even though I believe FSU and Castellanos are very good at offense. I don't believe it'll be because FSU is able to move up and down the field on on Miami. I believe it's because Carson Beck will give them good field position if he makes turnovers, and that's how it is that you will lose to FSU.
They'll get out on the perimeter. They'll gash Miami once or twice. Heatherman's defense has been so much different than Lance Guidry's, not just because of the effectiveness, but you think about last year. You think about those sweeps to the outside. You think about any play to the flats, and there was just a corner on an island. Yeah. And it came down to whether or not he can make a tackle, so oftentimes with a blocker out there. And that's not a good position for your secondary to be in. This year, gang tackles. Okay, maybe you can live with one missed tackle, but there's somebody else right there to pick him up. I do think Poyser's going to be isolated sometimes because that's what Gus Malzahn does. I think they'll hit some big plays. By the way, I found out something yesterday. Cameron Ward gave an interview earlier in the week, and this is like a quarterback coach thing. They have the same quarterback coach. Castellanos said that Cam Ward gives him advice every week. I don't like that.
That's a problem.
Don't like that.
Cam Ward also should not be given advice right now. That team is.
I'm kind of with you.
Mike, you're saying that you expect them to get gash some and you expect them to give up big plays. I've seen them give up no big plays this season. But to me, the thing that's startling about the University of Miami this season is that their defense is disciplined about not getting dumb penalties, and they haven't given up easy touchdowns or even chunk yardage.
Gus Malzahn has had deficiencies along the lines his entire career. Calling plays, and he's gone up against big bad defenses before, and he's found ways to get guys on the outside and put them in positions to hit big plays. I'm not going to go into this thinking that I would be stunned if FSU hit 0 explosive plays. They're an explosive offense. Castellanos has been more consistent throwing the ball. He thrives in chaos. If Miami collapses a pocket, that will allow for him to step up. We've seen Miami be susceptible to that with even C.J. Carr, who I'm a big fan of, by the way. But I'm excited for this test. I think the line is right on the money, and I think that, like all these rivalry games, I think the other team hangs around for a little bit, and then Miami pulls away late.
Last year, Haynes King ran all over the Canes. Do you fear a running quarterback against this defense?
I don't think we expected that from C.J. Carr, them running quarterback draw the entire time. This is not going to be a Kalen DeBoer situation. Miami's not going to be surprised by what Gus Malzahn has to offer, and Miami has the personnel. They have advantages. There's like 3 players on FSU that can play for Miami right now. Miami has more talent, but these games don't often come down to that.
Play that sound, please, of Conor McGregor, to put a loop on the segment and coffee drinking, of Conor McGregor introducing himself to people by just crushing whichever Diaz brother this was.
Hey, Connor, Nate, it's Jane Wells with CNBC. How are you?
Pretty good. How are you?
I'm going to talk about money because we are the business network and the business of the UFC and all that.
I'll take
sort of
over
stuff.
from here, Nate. You can bounce. Take a coffee break, Nate. And by coffee break, I mean bring me my coffee.
No. They want you to give us a quick count to 10, both of you gentlemen, if you don't mind, just if you wouldn't mind counting to 10.
Nate can only count to 5. 10.
Oh.
Count to 5, Nate, will you, if you can?
You count.
Hurry up with that coffee.
I ain't counting. How about
And hurry up with that coffee.
This episode of the Dan Le Batard Show is presented by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
We have missed David Samson around here. We have been sending much love David Samson's way the last couple of weeks. David, I don't know what you want to tell our audience. I know you have shared some of the personal turmoil with your audience on Nothing Personal, but welcome back. It is nice to see you, and I'm sorry that the last few weeks have been as rough as they have been.
Thank you. I'm trying to do shows again, and I just got a phone call on September 12th, and my daughter is very, very sick out of nowhere, and there's no going back. So I don't know. I want to do stuff with you. I enjoy it. I used to enjoy it. I started doing Nothing Personal again, and I hope the audience is enjoying it. I don't know that I am, to tell you the truth, Dan, because I just don't know how to be myself anymore, because myself is gone. I can't even find it anymore. And but I'm going to try. So I appreciate the opportunity. There's so much sports going on. I don't want to be a downer. I don't want anyone to feel sorry for me, but I am just trying to handle as best I can things that have to be handled, that sometimes I can't be where I'm supposed to be because where I'm supposed to be is somewhere totally different. I was in the middle of yesterday's show and a doctor called and I was live, and I'm not going to not take the call because I have to, and I did. And my audience has been great. Your audience has been great. All the people in Meadowlark and DraftKings. So thank you. And again, I don't want to be a downer. There's such great sports stuff going on, and it matters. And I'm trying to have it matter to me again.
Well, I imagine that it's just hard to make any of it matter in sports. We're talking about silly things. Like, I love the Padres' chances this season, but I don't know that you can find the importance in talking about the Padres' chances. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how much you've been changed by the last couple of weeks, and I also don't know how much you're faking it on the air now.
Your texts are funny to me when you transition from love and concern to, hey, what about those Padres?
They're bullpen, Dave. They're bullpen.
They could also be done tonight, though.
That's right.
How about that preview for the Expos, Doc? Like you sitting down with your hands like
I was just
together.
waiting for David Samson to show up in that trailer, and then 37 seconds in, I was not disappointed.
Hands rubbing.
I will say I was encouraged, though. It seems as though you're going to escape being the 100% villain. They lay out 3 villain candidates. You're not one of them. You are adjacent to one of them, pretty closely adjacent. So you still may end up villain adjacent. But it looks like, at least for the moment in the trailer, you've escaped.
So I would say that I saw the trailer when you did, and this is a movie called Who Killed the Montreal Expos. I was actually invited to the premiere in Montreal coming up the 1st or 9th day of October. I can't go anymore. And so the director and the producer, I don't remember doing that.
Rubbing your hands together?
Look at the size of that ring. It's so
when you put a trailer
so
together,
obnoxious.
It's not the director or the producer. I don't know what that was in relation to. That could have been me excited about the lunch they were serving. That could have me being totally excited. It's like when they edit you on Survivor. It's not exactly how it goes. So yes, I must have done that. And this was filmed back when I was just different. But it's going to be interesting how they put it all together. And I picture they will try to figure out who killed the Montreal Expos because they are dead. There is no doubt about it. Will they ever be reborn? And Dan, if you're about to ask me what is the most unbelievable phone call that I've gotten since September 12th after those 2 unbelievable phone calls I got, it was Ariel Helwani who called because he had watched the trailer and he had heard through our mutual agent friend about some things that were going on. And now I can't say that Billy or Mike or Chris would be able to, but Ariel was willing to separate the nightmare that was his relationship with me vis-a-vis the Expos to the reality of, wow, there's some real world stuff going on. However, I'm worried that once the movie actually comes out and he sees 90 minutes of it, that maybe all those feelings will get brought back up again.
If you were ranking it in the history of Montreal sports, how high are you on the list of most hated figures in the history of Montreal sports? Because when you say you were going to go back for the movie and the red carpet, you weren't going to go back to A Hero's Welcome.
Well, no, I was going to potentially have security, which was offered, but I wouldn't need it because it's long enough ago that people know me through your universe and through nothing personal now. But I think that when the history of Montreal sports is written, the number one thing I think you'd agree is the success of the Canadiens franchise. I think that the Expos are there for sure, and my role in the Expos, I would say, top 3 is all, not number 1 for sure. But I'd say top 3 to 5, which is pretty low on the list in terms of totally hated people.
Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Is top 3 or top 5 pretty low on the list of totally hated people? Yes or no? David, I thought you were really good on Nothing Personal, talking about Kathy Engelbert and what it is that is engulfing her in the NBA, in WNBA. I'm used to commissioners being disliked. Gary Bettman, Bud Selig, Roger Goodell. Those have all been disliked commissioners. I'm not used to the players in the league, especially the very best players in the league, piling on, saying that the leadership is as bad as they're presently saying it, led by Nafisa Collier.
Yeah, what Collier did is something that I'd never seen in my career. She did a 4-minute monologue where she basically impugned Kathy's leadership as commissioner of the WNBA. She may have released what could have been a private conversation, though we don't know whether it was actually said, where Kathy said that Caitlin Clark and the rest of the players ought to be on their knees thanking the Heavenly Father for the opportunities they have to make money off the court, etc., because it's just a bad look. But you have to keep in mind, and I'm not going to carry Kathy's water, not even close, but there's a collective bargaining negotiation going on. And anytime a player or a commissioner or owner speaks to the press, there is a reason. And it has to do with collective bargaining and leverage and negotiation. So I was not shocked by the timing of this monologue by Collier, where she questioned the referee, she questioned Kathy, the leadership, etc. What was interesting is, what does she think she's getting from it? Do you think Kathy is going to resign, Engelbert, the commissioner of the WNBA? It's not going to happen right now in the middle of a negotiation. Do you think that Adam Silver is going to feel badly enough about the players and the referees and the lack of leadership, quote unquote, to all of a sudden give in during these negotiations in a way that he will not give in? That's not going to happen. So was the object to gain public favor? All of a sudden, everybody hates management and owners. Well, that already happens. So that doesn't change the tenor of the negotiation. So I didn't understand what the purpose was. And the pile-on, while it makes it worse for the media and for the fans, inside the room where it happens, it will have zero impact. I promise you. What it means for Kathy's future, it doesn't matter. I'm talking about this agreement right now, where a work stoppage is going to happen because there is such a gulf between what the players think they deserve versus what the WNBA and NBA are going to be willing to give them. That gulf is so large that a work stoppage is going to happen.
But when you say, though, the pylon, look at what Elena Delle Donne does here on Instagram, where she's complaining that Kathy didn't call her when she retired. Like, the pylon is complete, and it's so complete that Elena Delle Donne thinks she deserves a call from the commissioner, because everyone right now is really piling on leadership, taking their shots while Kathy Engelbert is down.
Yeah, I'm not aware of the commissioner calling players. Players retire and disappear from Major League Baseball every year. The commissioner doesn't call them. Now, for the top of the top, would the commissioner maybe send a representative to a final game? Would they send a little note that just says, hey, great job, great career, see you later, join our players committee so we can piss off the union? Those types of things happen. But again, what's the object of the game? That sort of Instagram post is going to move the needle, and she spelled Kathy wrong, but that is going to in any way change anything? It just won't. You're right, pile-on is a great word for it. The thing about a pile-on is it doesn't change the result of what happened at the bottom of the pile.
David, good to see you, first of all. Tomorrow night, Kathy Engelbert is going to address the media. How do you think she's going to handle this?
If she's smart, she's got a very simple message, and she started with her statements as she started after Collier had her 4+ minute monologue and said, I'm here for the players, I'm here for the league, I'm here for the fans, and we will press forward doing everything in my power to continue to grow our league and make it the league that everyone can be proud of. You have to speak in grand platitudes. You don't make any promises. You don't address the piling on, the hatred, the Caitlin Clark comment. You don't address any of that. When you're talking to the media, always bridge to what your message is, which is I've got a job to do, and my focus is on getting that job done.
You are good at crisis management. You have a lot of experience with crisis management. The Clippers seemed, with weeks to prepare, dare I say months to prepare for Media Day, the Clippers seemed wildly unprepared on how to talk about what Pablo Torre is reporting. One of the reasons that I think they're unprepared, David, is because I don't believe a reporter has very often had a story locked down exclusively this way, in a way that hits an organization in the face with a fish again and again. So here's Lawrence Frank, who needs, I get Kawhi Leonard not being equipped necessarily to answer some of these questions, but Lawrence Frank has to do better than this.
Has Dennis Robertson, Kawhi's uncle, ever asked for any extra benefits that wouldn't be allowable under the NBA salary cap directly to you? There's been a lot coming out about his asks.
Yeah, look, Dennis knows the rules, Kawhi knows the rules, Mitch Frankel knows the rules, and we know the rules.
Is that a yes or a no, though?
Yes, we all know the rules.
What is that, David? How can they handle it as poorly as how can they handle this poorly?
That one made me laugh at a time that I was not able to laugh at all. And I'm still laughing looking at him, because when you are meeting the media, you get Q&A training. So you sit with your PR people, you get a list of questions. Here's what I think could be asked. The number one question that's going to be asked of Lawrence Frank is, was there salary cap circumvention? And the answer has to be very simply, the NBA is investigating, and we welcome this investigation, and I'm not going to have any further comment until the investigation's over. It's dry. It stinks. There's nothing the media can do with it. There's nothing I can do with it on nothing personal. But that's the point. You don't want to say an answer because you can't lie, because you're being investigated. And Lawrence Frank just answered the question by saying everybody knows the rules. It's like saying, hey, did you steal that? Oh, I know stealing's against the law. Well, objection, non-responsive. That didn't answer the question. And if you're not going to answer a question in front of the media, then you bridge to a general answer that is what you're willing to say, not something like we all know the rules. Of course we know the rules, and you broke them, didn't you? And Lawrence Frank just looked like a deer in headlights. And whoever Ballmer's PR people are, or the Clippers PR people, they ought to be replaced immediately.
Which was worse, Lawrence Frank or this back and forth between Ramona and Kawhi Leonard?
What is your understanding of the endorsement deal that you had with the company that was being talked to Aspiration, and did you perform any services for them?
When you say understanding, what do you mean?
Of the contract you signed, how much money you were to receive, what you were supposed to perform for those services?
I understand that full contract and the services that I had to do. Like I said, I don't deal with the conspiracies or the clickbait analysts or journalism that's going on. So that's what it is.
Well, I think the allegation was that you didn't perform any services for them. Is that accurate, or did you?
I don't think it's accurate, but it's old. This is all new to you guys. The company went bankrupt a while ago, so we already knew this was going to happen. So
you were named as the largest creditor in the bankruptcy filing, right? Did you actually get the money that was owed to you in the contract, or?
No. But the company went belly up. It was frauded, as everybody knows. If you want any more questions or more details about that company, you need to ask the owner or whoever else is involved in the fraud that went on.
Right. I think they said they owed you $7 million or something, right?
I'm not sure. I gotta look back at the books, but no, it's more than that for sure.
Do you have any idea of how much you actually made on that?
No, it was like 2, 3, 4 years ago.
But he knows the contract, though. He knows the contract.
Which was worse, David?
Well, again, you introduced this segment by saying that you have to assume that Lawrence Frank is going to be better in front of the media than Kawhi, but I'm not going to give Kawhi that sort of grace because his job, he's a public figure, he's in front of the media. He has to have been prepped by somebody, even someone as incompetent as Uncle Dennis. Someone's got to talk to him. And do I believe that it's possible that he doesn't know how much he got paid of the $28 million? Let's give him the benefit of the rich player's doubt, where he just knows that he can buy whatever he wants and his credit card never gets declined and everything's good. That's fine. However, they all know exactly what they're owed. I promise you that. Every player I've ever dealt with for 18 frickin' years, if you short them by a penny, you get a call that day. They know exactly what the contract is. Kawhi knows that he had a $28 million contract. That's number one. Number two, he knows what he was owed because Uncle Dennis wants that money and would say to Aspiration, where's the money? He'd say to Ballmer, where's the money? Dennis Wong, where's the money? And the legal bankruptcy filing said that he's owed $7 million. That is not a filing that's done by Kawhi or Uncle Dennis. That's done as part of a bankruptcy filing where you look at the contracts that a company has, you look at the amount of money out the door, you look at the amount of money that hasn't been paid, and that's the amount of the unsecured creditor amount. That's the $7 million. If Kawhi had been owed 10, then that number in the filing would have been 10 million. But that number was 7, which means that's the amount he wasn't paid from Aspiration. Query, Pablo, did he get that money elsewhere? Because you can bet that Kawhi was not going to take $7 million under what he expected to get paid, regardless of the company going bankrupt or being fraud or con or any of that. Kawhi could care less about that. When he's in front of the media, it blew my mind. He didn't just say, hey, I can't really talk about it. Sorry, Ramona, nothing to say. Investigation, I'll be back to you. Instead, he just sounded like a fool, and that's just fodder for Wachtell Lipton, the firm doing the investigation.
He seemed the least concerned out of anyone that they were talking to. Like, the rest of them seemed somewhat defensive. He was just like, I don't know. It was a couple years ago. This is old news to me. Who cares?
This is new
Doesn't
to you
matter.
guys.
Yeah,
Yes, it is Kawhi.
He didn't seem like he thought he was guilty of anything or he was worried about being found out of anything. He just seemed kind of like, why do we have to talk about this?
Yeah, Billy, I'll tell you that I don't see a scenario here where Kawhi Leonard gets any sort of punishment. It would be Adam Silver would love to find a way to get to Uncle Dennis because he would like, and the agents would like, including Mitch Frankel, they'd all like the Uncle Dennises of the world to disappear because a lot of players have an Uncle Dennis, and the agents don't like dealing with them. The executives don't like dealing with them. We'd rather deal with professional agents, even me, except for Boris. I'd like to deal with all of the agents. And so is it possible that Uncle Dennis gets some shrapnel? Yeah, but not Kawhi. I think that he will skate here unless Pablo finds out some other stuff. But I think it'll be hard for the NBA and the union to agree on a punishment for Kawhi. It'll be easy for them to agree on a punishment for Ballmer, Wong, and potentially Uncle Dennis.
How do you punish Uncle Dennis, who does not work for your league or break any rule? Like, he broke their rules, but no actual laws. Uncle Dennis is just asking for more things, and these people are like, okay, if Uncle Dennis wants it, sure, we can give it to him. But he's not an NBA employee or a Clippers employee, so how do you even punish him?
So it's funny you ask. The only way to do it with people is to ban them. They can't be around practice facilities. They can't be in the arenas. It's sort of like Tyrese's dad. The big punishment is you can't sit courtside, and then you can reappear in a box. But that's all they can do. Now, for the agents, they can do more. They can decertify, etc. But for just a family representative, your hands are tied, and you're right. There are no criminal issues here against Ballmer That's not what Pablo's alleging against Uncle Dennis, against the Clippers. It's all the NBA rules of salary cap circumvention. So there's no legal issues here. But certainly the NBA could punish Uncle Dennis just by taking away his access, his credentials, etc.
I think you're right, David, that nothing's going to happen to Kawhi because Adam Silver's solved as commissioner. But isn't the way to get rid of the Uncle Dennises is by punishing Kawhi?
But Kawhi doesn't want to be at the games either, so why is Uncle Dennis going to want to be at the games?
I think that Kawhi, I just heard he's the best player at training camp, and the Clippers are looking great. I think that's the fun way and the right way to spin it. You know, the world is burning, and you go ahead and say, look, there's a dandelion or an apple tree. So it is true, whether Kawhi looks good or not, you know, the proof will be in the pudding for the Clippers when the season starts, which is soon. But at the end of the day, this investigation is going to take a long time. The All-Star game is in the Intuit Dome this year. The NBA is not going to have a ruling on this until after the All-Star game. They are, if they're smart, they're going to wait. This isn't one of those things where they can be quick like they were with Donald Sterling and just try to tourniquet the issue and move on. It's way too complicated, way too important. So you want to get through the All-Star game and then figure it out. But what I think is likely happening is a negotiation between the NBA and the Clippers as they figure out how they can exit this as gracefully as possible in terms of a punishment, in terms of an acknowledgement, because Mark Cuban be damned, there is no denying the reality of salary cap circumvention here. The circumstantial evidence that Pablo has is way too strong, and it's not that I'm close to it, it's that I've read it. And any independent person with any modicum of intelligence would look at this and say, well, this doesn't make sense but for circumvention. So we'll see.
I kind of want an Uncle Dennis. I'm going to be honest with you. Like, I think we're trying to paint him out as a villain. This guy's a hero. He just has all these rich guys that can't control themselves. Like, hey, you want to break the rules that only affect you and not me and give me some extra money and my nephew? Let's do that.
I just have an Uncle Dick.
Who's nice, and then another uncle whose name was Richard, who was a dick.
Yeah.
And Billy, you do have an Uncle Dennis.
One eye.
Billy, remember, we all have an Uncle Dennis. We all have people who are advocating for us. It's just a matter of how you employ them. It's a matter of who you choose to be your sort of spokesperson, to be your representative, because it does reflect on you. The things that are asked for, the way in which they're asked, the way that, you know, who you surround yourself with. So we all have an Uncle Dennis. It's just a matter of who we choose to put out there as that Uncle Dennis.
I have an Uncle George, nurse practitioner. Premature babies, yeah.
Could
George
use one of those.
Or Jorge? George or Jorge?
Jorge, but he goes as George, yeah.
Can you tell me, because the idea that they would throw the book at Uncle Dennis, do you have any idea, David, where throwing the book comes from? What is the book? Is it in court, you're holding up the Bible and then you throw the book at somebody? Like, what is the throwing of the book? Where does that expression come from? Do you know?
I don't know. I didn't think of the Bible. I thought of the legal code.
It's like a rule book.
The criminal code, the rule book.
So I have the answer, Dan. In old times, the judges literally had a law book with all the laws, which punishments and sentencing guidelines were drawn. To throw the book at someone meant the judge was applying every possible charge and penalty allowed by law, as if hurling the entire book at the accused.
So at Uncle Dennis, that's how Uncle Dennis is simply just asking rich guys, hey, can you just give me the most? And
But not the rule book, though, like just the NBA rule book.
Right, but it's just the idea that Uncle Dennis is going to be punished for this is asinine. Like, I mean, he should make all the asks, and since Lawrence Frank says we know the rules, they've got to follow the rules, not Uncle Dennis.
I think it's important, though, when you're punishing someone, Dan, that you can't just do it to the person. You can't just do the Clippers here. I think they've got to find a way to have some culpability. And one of the negotiating things with Ballmer would be, hey, don't make this 100-0. It's like when you figure out negligence and who's to blame for something. You want to make it like 90-10. I don't know if you know that, but like in a lawsuit, when you get money in a lawsuit, but you're found to be 10% a participant in what happened, if you get $1 million in damages, you actually only get the $900,000 because you're responsible for 10% of it. So I can imagine a world where Uncle Dennis is told, hey, man, you asked, you were a great advocate, but that's worth about 5%. So the Clippers, you're only responsible for 95% of this salary cap circumvention.
I do want to talk some baseball because we've got 3 game 3s today. Exciting.
Greatest 2 words in baseball, game 3.
It is fun today, and you were not wrong, Billy, when you make fun of me for loving the Padres and their bullpen and saying they could be eliminated
It's
today.
baseball. I mean,
Yes.
with a short 3-game series, like you lose today, your season's done.
I've liked the Padres the last 2 seasons better than I've liked them this season, but I also like them this season because their bullpen is really strong. Like, Dylan Cease is a very good pitcher. They only need 3 2/3 from him because they go to the bullpen, and in the middle of their bullpen is Mason Miller throwing fastballs faster than they've ever been thrown by any human being since they started tracking it. That's not a hittable person. He's faced 7 hitters this postseason. He's struck out all 7 of them, and all he's doing is going back and throwing 104 miles an hour, and he's not even their closer. I really do like the Padres, but yes, their season can end today.
That's the beauty of this new thing with 2 out of 3 all in one ballpark started in 2022, and every game 1 winner has won the series. There has not been a game 1 loser to prevail.
We're going to get one today.
If
I'm
the
calling
Padres win today, if the Guardians win today, if the Yankees win today, we have 3 chances to show what a small sample size it's been since 2022. But if the Cubs and the Tigers and the Red Sox win, then we get to go a whole nother year by saying game 1 are the 2 best words you hear, Billy, not game 3, because it turns out game 1 is the one that actually matters.
David, is it a disadvantage for the teams, the high seeds that have to wait till Saturday to play?
Have you watched all these teams get ready? The Phillies did a scrimmage where they allowed fans in, and they had the powder blue uniforms and the white uniforms. The Mariners did a scrimmage with Ichiro playing right field where they're trying to stay sharp. It is a big debate within ownership circles on the competition committee where there are GMs and presidents who believe that being the wild card is an advantage and is what you should strive to do and not get the bye, not win the division, because baseball is such a game of routine. And we've seen a lot of teams get upset who are the bye teams. So what do? We always make this up. Let's stay sharp. We'll do infield. We'll do outfield. We'll play simulated games. But you can play against yourself all you want. And I think we all know that when you play against yourself, it can feel good for the moment. But at the end of the day, it's better to have an opponent. And that is what you find, and that's why baseball is so interesting, that you've got the Mariners and the Brewers and the Blue Jays and the Phillies who are trying to figure out how, come Saturday, they can be ready. When look at the teams playing today, they are going to be jacked up, whoever wins these game 3s, and they're going to be more ready. So we'll see how it plays out, but I'd always prefer to be playing.
If you want more baseball coverage, we've got Pitch Clock for you later in the show every Thursday. Jeremy Taché does a very good job with Pitch Clock, and also David Samson does an exceptional job covering baseball. I want to ask you a few rapid-fire baseball questions. Other than Scooble, who struck out 14 Guardians the other day, is there another pitcher anywhere in baseball who has a 92-mile-an-hour changeup and a 100-mile-an-hour sinker?
Well, you should look at Paul Skeens. Everybody's blowing 98, 99. What makes Scooble so unhittable is his ability to change planes, where he changes the eye level.
Not the question I asked you, though, because I know everybody's pitching up, and I know that that's what Chapman's success is. I'm talking specifically about the 92-mile-an-hour changeup and the 100-mile-an-hour sinker.
But it's not no one has that exact 2 pitches. You're right about that.
Okay, no, I was asking. I didn't know. I didn't know the answer to my question. Jazz Chisholm saved the Yankee season last night, yes?
No. It's surreal. Who said that?
I mean, the infield
Yeah.
play where he saved the ball in the infield and he scores from first base. I don't think another Yankee could score from first base on that single. I don't think they have another Yankee who's fast enough to do that.
So there were 2 outs, so he was off, and I'm not going to sully Jazz, but I will tell you that the Red Sox third base coach and the runner, Eaton, they should have scored on that play. Jazz should not have thrown the ball to Ben Rice. Ben Rice should not have tried to pick the ball the way he did. It was a mistake by both of them. You smother that ball, and then you run it toward the runner. That's the play that Jazz should have made. But he was trying to make the glory play of getting the runner out, which he didn't have a chance to do. And yes, scoring from first on the duck fart that Wells hit, that with 2 outs, there are 70% of players score on that because Jazz is fast, no doubt. There are a lot of fast players. If you're looking to see who saved the season for the Yankees, I think you will have to look and realize that what Bednar has done, his ability to get the final 3 outs, that was critical. And also the Red Sox not having Crochet, that's critical. And for me, saving the season, they've got to win today or yesterday's game. Who cares about it?
You're consistently negative on Jazz.
He didn't like Jazz. I can tell.
But you're consistently negative on Jazz.
I am very complimentary of Jazz's ability to be a 30-30 guy. I am not complimentary of him in the clubhouse or the things he does off the field. I'm not. And I've got information as you all do. I forgot the way I used to have this, Mike Ryan. What is it you call? I'm in the know.
You happen to know.
I happen to know.
Oh, wait a minute. He's alleging that he happens.
He happens to know? Great Scott, he happens to know. He happens to know. Gather everyone. Get the children. He happens to know. So wise.
Not everybody is loved outside the lines, as you know. If you have a player who performs inside the lines, it can make up for a lot of ills. Jazz is a player who is outstanding when the game is happening. Other times, there are players who look at him and say, oh, I'm not quite interested in that shtick. In terms of the Yankees, the good news is he's not the star. He's not the go-to player. He's not anything other than a player in the lineup, hitting down in the lineup who hits 240. That's it. But at the end, what we're looking for today, don't look at Jazz. What you have to look at is Aaron Judge has been getting on base with singles. If Judge and Stanton homer in a game, the Yankees automatically win. If one of the two of them hit home runs, they generally will win the game. So my focus is far more on Judge and Stanton than it is on Jazz today.
Everybody was crushing Aaron Boone. Were you?
No, and it's funny because the media kept trying to make sure we were aware that was Aaron Boone's decision to pull Fried after 6 2/3. That's like saying Aaron Boone chose to bring in Nestor Cortez last year to face Freddie Freeman. It's just not how it works in the real world. Those decisions are made before the game starts. I understand why Booney would want people to believe that it's just his decision, but it's just not right. You've got a pitching plan. You go through all the iterations of what could happen. You think it was like a strange scenario in that game? Oh, you're into the 7th. Fried has over 100 pitches, and you're at the 7, 8, 9 in the lineup. That's right on our piece of paper. We have exactly what we do in that situation. It's not like, oh, man, we didn't think of that one.
David,
who
but
the hell wouldn't think of 100 pitch anyway?
It's subjective, though. He said he took him out because he had to stressful innings, the innings before. Like, yes, you can make a game plan, but you're still gauging each inning how hard he's working and whether he still has the good stuff.
But we all know, just like the manager, what the stressful innings are. We know what they look like, and we know exactly what we do and how we count stressful pitches, because stressful pitches are a different pitch count than not stressful pitches. So we have 2 pitch counts going every game. We have scenarios we're looking at. Of course, we're looking at the inning and how it goes, the inning before. We're not looking at just the result. Oh, he got the double play grounder. Well, it was hit really hard, and it just happens to be it was hit right at him. We are taking all of those things into account when we are going through the game plan. So, Chris, I promise you this was not Aaron Boone solely deciding what to do.
But don't you want the manager to have a little bit of a feel for the game, even though you do have a plan? I mean, heck, your manager you won a World Series with. That's how he managed.
There's no question that Jack McKeon was a feel guy. And guess what happened? In 03, everything he felt worked. And in 04 and 05, everything he felt worked less. And that is just the reality of when you go by feel exclusively. Just like I don't want to go by analytics exclusively, I like doing both and using both. But a team like the Yankees, they are far more using analytics than other teams, and they have been for a while. And I could argue, do I want a manager to have some rope? I do, because that's how I evaluate the manager, but that's rope in the clubhouse. That's rope with relationships with his players, coaches, and up to the front office, with the media. Those are things that I'm evaluating more so than whether or not he is actually doing what we tell him to do, because that's just assumed. It's like the lineup. You think Aaron Boone makes the lineup and he chose to sit Jazz and Ben Rice in game 1? Of course not. That comes from the front office. Aaron can't write a lineup and post it, and that's the lineup. It doesn't work that way.
Baseball's had a lot of changes over the last 10, 15 years. None greater than that one, though.
Like, when did that stop?
No, people don't understand that the front office is that the manager's a middle manager. Like, he's an employee. And I know he's a face and voice for the team, but he's not making decisions. And David, you're saying that, and I know it's so. I know baseball people know that, but I don't think the average fan knows that.
It's part of the issue I have when I tell people that. They just don't want to believe it, and I get it. Because it sounds so counterintuitive, because we want to blame somebody, and it's so easy when a move doesn't work to play the result and then blame Boone because you get a back page headline, but that's just not the reality of it.
Less than a minute left, David. What is the movie you're reviewing for us this week, and are you still watching a movie a day right now?
So that's the thing I'm going to tell you, is that I have not. September 12th, I watched the first half of AKA Charlie Sheen, and I have not watched a movie since. And I had watched a movie every day for 2 decades, including when I was in baseball, going way back. And I've tried to sit down, and I can't get through anything. I can't get through any of my series I love watching. So I've got to figure that out, Dan. But I used to love movies so much, and I just have not been able to get back to it. So I have no movie to review that I'm trying. I thought I could review. I was going to watch Caught Stealing late last night, and I just didn't.
Great flick. Really enjoyed that movie. I'm trying to bring vibes up.
We love you. We have missed you.
Good to see you, David.
Thank you, guys, for everything.
I'm recommending Eddington to you if you do get to movies, just because it's bat crazy, the end of that movie. See you later, David. Good talking to you.
Thank you. Thank you.
The fear of Udonis Haslem as enforcer for our bucket has evidently worked. I'm in negotiations with Udonis Haslem to become the bucket enforcer. We're going to go to the bucket here in this hour. Roy is paying his penalty of being an old-timey baseball player. Zaz is paying his penalty of doing the entire show in a bed.
What's UD going to do, honestly? Like, if one of you guys decide, not that I would do it, but if one of you guys decided, you know what, I'm not going to pay this off, what's he going to do?
He'll be in.
He's going to hit someone?
Well, you can ask him. When he comes in, you can ask him.
Hopefully he trades us Go Cherry.
I don't think he's going to come in. I'm just going to say, hasn't shown his face around here once yet. I don't think he's coming in.
You going to hit me, UD?
Yeah.
Is that what you're going to do? You're going to hit me?
We got laws here, brother.
He's not going to hit me.
Well, Tony's already suing the company.
He can't make me. Oh, boy.
I might hop on, make this a class action. You know what I mean?
Not going to hit
Billy,
me.
tear your quad and we can join.
Oh!
We'll see how you guys do when he is here.
Are you threatening that he's going to hit me?
No, we'll see. You guys can take it up with him when he's here. I wonder if some of the bass in your voice will disappear when he's standing behind you.
Zaslow took a nap during the break.
We'll find out together. Yes, but he's serving his punishment, and people are serving their punishment. I have to do mine tomorrow, so
don't do it. What's he going to do? Hit you? He's not going to hit you.
I'm going to walk right up to Udonis Haslem.
Yeah.
I'm going to poke him in the chest and say, what are you going to do? Hit me?
Well, no, then you hit him first, and then he can hit you back, I think, is the way it works.
I will respect his personal space while also mentioning that his Renegades fell to the Cyclones,
Wow.
the top of the table Cyclones, because you know what happens when you go up against the Cyclones? Dan, do you know what happens?
What?
You lose to the Undertaker.
That's right. You go 1-on-1 with the Undertaker, and it doesn't work out for folks. I'm telling you right now.
It smells different at the Fronton right now.
He's like Manu if you squished him.
You smell it? You smell that? It smells different at the Fronton.
Smells like cigs.
It smells like Greg Cody passed out there on the floor. That's what it smells like. If you
Thanks
want,
for bringing up the darkest time in my life.
if you want to
Video
help,
team, show the Undertaker.
Ah, there he is.
if you want to do something Saturday
dressed like that?
in Miami to help the animals, we've got a bit of a crisis down here, one of many in Miami, with the animal kingdom and people not taking care of the animals. But the Humane Society of Greater Miami is doing something here on Saturday from 8:30 to noon. Food trucks, games, pet costume contest, adoptable dogs. It's Margaret Pace Park on North Bayshore Drive. And you can check out the details there and at the website for the humanesociety.org /walk the animals if you want to participate in that. I've got a number of different football things that I want to get to. If you want your baseball, and I am excited for the baseball today, if you want your baseball, Pitch Clock is going to be in hour 2. I don't know if you guys have been watching late night television. It's been nice. It's been heartwarming to see how much these guys like each other. This was not the case for Letterman and Leno and Conan, the way that these people respect each other, like each other. So you've got Kimmel in New York right now, and Colbert's on his show, and Colbert is, also having Kimmel on his show. And I don't know if you guys saw the numbers, but did you see September 17th through September 23rd, how many cancellations Disney and Hulu got? Because this was not leadership developing a spine. This was the people speaking and with dollars making Disney, forcing Disney to stand up to an American core principle. 1.7 million people in a 6-day span canceled their subscriptions and got the attention of management and forced them to develop something of a spine.
But how many re-signed, and now they can come out and say the board, hey, great quarter, look, record re-signs.
250,000 people rejoined, but it's a slow burn.
Yeah.
They'll be back.
Also, like, some of the people were putting out the pictures like they would buy the subscription just to then say they canceled it, and they have it for a year already because you already paid up front, and then in a year from now they'll just subscribe again, and then you just inflate and boost the subscription number. It's kind of a game.
Okay, so it didn't work. It wasn't the American people speaking. Billy's got a different take on this. The 1.7 million number doesn't mean anything.
Oh, no,
Billy's got a different idea of it.
You think the people of America actually have a voice in anything that goes on anymore? Get out of here.
That's the truest thing
crazy,
he's
man.
ever said in his entire life.
Okay.
I can make a difference.
Corporatists versus oligarchs.
Listen, if you think you can make a difference, go adopt a dog this weekend at Dan's Dogathon. But canceling Disney's not going to do anything.
I love the animals.
Love the dogs. And cats, too.
A little less than the dogs, but we love cats.
We like cats.
It is Saturday from 8:30 to noon. Humane Society Miami.
Dan's Dogathon.
Or Dan's Dogathon, if you prefer to call it that. That's fine. Just make sure that you help the animals. Billy seems to be very concerned about Tua. Tua hasn't been the same since Billy bought his jersey.
That guy. Yeah. You think that's what it is now that we're talking it out? That's what it is, right?
That might be with the thing with you, yeah.
I mean, I was not to make this too much about me, but like, I was with my now wife for probably like 9 years or something before we got engaged. And with Tua, it was like a year. And I bought a jersey. That was quite the commitment on my part. And he's made me look like a fool.
He continues to do that. Listen to this sound here from Tua explaining how it is that he's avoided concussions this year.
Come to know or come to understand from what the doctors were talking about is, your brain kind of sits in fluids. And if I'm eating eggs, bacon, and sausage, and there's not much carbs, like if there's no bread or whatnot, you kind of drink water and it'll just flush out of you, so you can't stay hydrated that way. But the carbs kind of help soak that in and stay there.
That's why I haven't had a concussion. Yeah. I crush carbs.
Yeah.
My brain, you can't rattle this thing.
I'm worried about this guy.
Sounds
Are you
like
not
a
worried
moron.
about that?
Who, me?
That's what we're doing now. We're eating bagels and toast to stop concussions.
Learned about hydration.
This is the guy who's leading the team now. Oh my God, what are we doing? What are we doing, Dan? What are we doing?
Legitimately forgot Zaz was in the
Did he just
studio.
wake up? What happened?
What happened?
I'm I'm getting a little bit sleepy. I'm not going to lie. Like, I'm really comfortable here.
It looks comfortable. It doesn't look like much of a punishment either, I got to say.
The punishment is trying to keep my eyes open. I'm very sleepy.
I love Tua just like trying to educate us. Like, guys, listen up.
Yeah.
I figured it out.
You know,
It's
if I'm
smart as
eating eggs, bacon, and sausage, and there's not much carbs, like if there's no bread or whatnot.
I love the whatnot.
Dan, there's no bread. You don't eat bread, Dan.
That doesn't sound too bright.
I'm not a dietitian, but the carbs that helps with the water, or that
I don't understand.
takes out the water, so he'd be drinking
no,
more
it
water.
adds the water.
Like
No,
he
it
can't
adds the
hurt his
water.
head because there's no water now. What are we
makes
doing?
his brain, in all that liquid in the head, it makes it kind of not bounce around as much. The carbs fill it up more, so there's less bouncing around
because of the water. So he's just, if he's super
Because it's in
hydrated, he
fluid,
can't get
Billy. Like the brain is in fluid, like you said.
His
It's sitting in
brain
fluid.
is like sloshing around in fluid, and that means more concussions.
And every time you eat
concussions.
Every time you eat a piece of toast, it's not moving around
like
as
a pillow.
much.
Imagine like a
Yes.
pillow, like Zaz, like sitting on the pillow.
Do you think when he took that hit, the late hit in the game the other night, that because you saw when he got up, he was like smiling and he was shaking his head. Says, "Yeah, bagel and cream cheese this morning, player."
So the fluids are good or bad for the concussions?
Let's have him explain it to us one more time. Right. Nah, don't. I'm dumber listening to it.
Come to know or come to understand from what the doctors were talking about is, your brain kind of sits in fluids. And, if I'm eating eggs, bacon, and sausage, and there's not much carbs, like if there's no bread or whatnot, you kind of drink water and it'll just flush out of you. So you can't stay hydrated that way. But the carbs kind of help soak that in and stay there.
So the carbs help keep the water in your brain so that it keeps your brain safe. Whereas if you don't eat carbs, the water goes right through you pee it out, and all of a sudden there's nothing protecting your brain.
Okay, why did he rattle off proteins?
Those are good too, but you need a little
Not
bit of carbs.
carbs.
Those
not
weren't
carbs.
really carbs.
Or whatnot.
So proteins, according to AI, are not inherently good for hydration, but carbs are good for hydration.
But he didn't list off.
But then he said there, when you
With
drink
the
water,
toast.
if you don't have carbs in your system, when you drink water, it goes right through you.
My personal opinion on this is that the best way to cut down on concussions is to cut down on the football.
What are you?
No, he's
crazy?
getting paid too much money.
You sound like Zaz now.
But are you cutting down on football and having carbs or protein? Because that's the issue at hand
You
here.
can have carbs and protein, and if you cut out the football, you're going to have fewer concussions.
Can I put butter on my toast?
Not around this office.
When we're
Jeez.
speaking about,
I think it's wheat toast or white. Have we decided which is better for no concussions?
You got to go
That's a
white,
good
right?
point.
Like the fat one.
Speaking of quarterbacks that are looking or sounding foolish, I don't know if you guys noticed, but immediately after we had Amin on and we were talking, Tony said that the mime population in America is either endangered or extinct, but there is still a flourishing mime economy in Europe. But as soon as that happened, that night, one of the Jets celebrated a play by doing a mime celebration during the Monday Night Football game. And Shedeur Sanders yesterday, and Shedeur Sanders' mom has called Rex Ryan cancerous for some of his commentary on Shedeur Sanders. Here's Shedeur Sanders. Does this qualify for you guys as miming? He doesn't get the start this weekend. Dylan Gabriel gets the start. Joe Flacco has been benched.
And let's remember, last week, Rex Ryan told him to shut his mouth. So I think that's what he's doing here.
Okay, so is this successful miming from Shedeur Sanders as we try to bring back the mime in America, an endangered species?
Third quarterback. Vocally, anything to say?
I guess one more. What do you think you have to show to the coaches just to have that belief in you that you can be ready?
It was advertised as miming. That is not miming.
You got to be as if you're in a box.
No. It's more
If
pantomiming,
you're not doing
right?
this, you're not miming.
That's not miming.
Oh, my mime.
That's not miming.
He's not miming. He's not pantomiming. He's just pretending to speak and no words or sounds are coming out of his mouth.
Bad for the podcast listeners.
While grinning. He's
Bad
just
audio.
grinning, mouthing words, and they're just like, "Do you want to say anything?" And he's just
I'm
mouthing
not used
words.
to talking about a third-string quarterback.
You see a lot of third-string quarterbacks doing nonsense. This is nonsense.
Well, the thing about this move also is that he was a practice squad guy, as they told us before. But also, Joe Flacco's been benched, but is still listed as second string. So he's still the third-string quarterback, even after the benching of the starter.
I hear Zaz's point. You see a lot of third-string quarterbacks do this nonsense. I don't see a lot of third-string quarterbacks getting interviewed because I don't see them being a topic of daily conversation on cable sports debate shows.
I did see what I thought was a third-string quarterback getting mugged in Dublin. I did. I thought
That's the news. You got to report that, though. Yeah.
When you put next to each other, because we'll get to the bucket in a second, but when I put that Tua sound and that Shedeur Sanders non-sound, when I put those things next to each other, and then I compare it to the quarterback that every defensive coordinator in the league is fearing because his confidence level is through the roof. The Rams are Ram tough, and Matthew Stafford getting away from the Lions organization that had two of its best players ever quit. Matthew Stafford got so much confidence just in leaving that he was throwing to Cooper Kupp in a Super Bowl when everyone in the stadium knew he was going to throw to Cooper Kupp, and he was doing it late in the Super Bowl with no-look passes. Did you guys see that I think Matthew Stafford made Xavier Howard quit last weekend? And this isn't a play against Xavier Howard, but I want to show you guys, also bad for the audio audience, I want to show you guys Matthew Stafford looking off the safety because he's looking one way, and the Colts safety goes with Matthew Stafford's eyes, but that is not where Matthew Stafford is throwing the ball. He's not throwing the ball where he's looking. He's throwing the ball to a place he is not looking at.
Not completely lost for the podcast listeners because there is quite the audio payoff here. You can hear Matthew Stafford very excited and pleased with himself.
Very happy that he tricked the safety saying, "You are a fool for looking at me."
Don't look at me! Don't look at me! Don't look at me! See ya! See ya!
I mean, the confidence level on this dude, you get so many hours of these kinds of reps. He's so confident back there.
The old dog, Dan.
I love watching this
The
old
old dog.
He's learning new tricks.
Doubles! What are you doing out there? The no-look passes is what he's doing?
But he's done this. He did this earlier this year against the Titans where he threw a ball to Davante Adams where he was looking the opposite way and fit it between two defenders, and Davante Adams had a window of about 6 inches to get the ball through, and it was the most incredible pass I've ever seen.
What a month for Xavier Howard. Came out feeling really good about himself because he went against old carb protein Tua. And then in a matter of 4 weeks, having to go up against Puka and Matthew Stafford, just decided, I'm not good at this anymore. I'm gone.
Tua had a no-look pass this year. It was an interception that ended a game, but he tried.
It is really rare for a player in the middle of the paychecks to quit a football season. Vontae Smith did it with the Bills, did it during the middle of a game where he just quit and retired. But Xavier Howard was, I thought, going to be important to the Colts. I thought that he was only available this offseason because of an assortment of off-field problems and a slowing of his speed with age combined to make him someone that not a lot of teams were interested in. When Xavier Howard was a great player, not a good player, was a great player for the Miami Dolphins, to see him quit in the middle of a promising season or at the beginning of a promising season, super strange because these guys, the way the contracts work, these guys are paid during the season. Guys do not quit during the season. They might quit during training camp. They might quit in the offseason, but quitting isn't generally something that happens 4 games into a season.
And the Colts are good, right? I could see if the Colts were 0-4 and things were just miserable, if they were the Panthers or if they were the Dolphins or if they were the Saints. But it's like the Colts have a chance to win the division, to like make some noise in the playoffs, and it's like, you know what? I'm good.
Mike, before we go to the bucket here, can you get the gearhead real quick? I know you've been dying for about 2 weeks to talk about Denny Hamlin. You can't shut up about Denny Hamlin. You're somebody who's trying to get us, the audience, interested in the Denny Hamlin story because it's an interesting story. You've got a wild, loose cannon driving around at high rates of speed, running relatives off the road.
Yeah, you've got him racing for Joe Gibbs Racing, but he co-owns a racing team with Michael Jordan. He is actively suing NASCAR, a sport that he is, you can't say dominated, but he's been one of the best drivers of his generation, but he's never won a Cup Series championship. He's arguably the greatest driver to not have that to his name. He's won so many big races, and this year kind of felt like it's going to be the year for Denny Hamlin, but the last 2 weeks have been truly bizarre. Again, he races for the legendary football coach Joe Gibbs. The last race prior to this one, he ran Joe Gibbs' grandson off the track, and he wrecked him, leaving everybody confused, including Joe Gibbs. Then the following week, he is chasing down Bubba Wallace, who is in first place. He owns this car. That's fine. He's paid by Joe Gibbs to win races. We all get that. But it seems as though he goes out of his way. If he just stays in his lane, he's going to win this race. In fact, he takes himself and Bubba Wallace out, and Chase Elliott comes from out of nowhere to win the race. So do we have the still image of Bubba Wallace flipping off his boss? Bubba Wallace gave an interview immediately post-race, heated, saying,
just the hand out the window.
Hand out the window. Yes, this is cheaters never prosper. Like this is.
I ain't cheating. He's giving the middle finger to his boss for the world to see. Now, Denny Hamlin kind of pulled rank. It's awesome to hear Denny Hamlin immediately after everyone has all these questions go to his own podcast and try to give his POV on it. He defended his actions here, but Denny Hamlin's having a really interesting season. Can we cue up the video of Denny Hamlin trying to explain himself as to why he did this to Bubba Wallace? And it kind of sounds like he pulled rank on Bubba.
On Sunday, I am the driver. The person in the 11 car is the driver. That's where the disconnect, I think, comes from. They expect me to be the guy with a 2311 shirt on when I'm in the 11 car, and that's just not possible. I was racing the 23 the same as I would race anybody in that moment. It is not up to me to get 2311 into the round of 8. My responsibility is to get the 11 into the round of 8. Joe pays me a lot of money to make sure that that car wins a championship or has a shot to. Could you imagine the outrage if I just backed off and let him have it?
It's a kooky situation. Every time I explain this to somebody, no, he races for another team, but he owns the other team. And people wonder, well, how does that not appear to be a conflict? It does appear to be a conflict, but actions like that make you really confused. But it wasn't eyes on the prize. And meanwhile, he didn't notice Chase Elliott running low. He gave Chase Elliott that win. Credit to the 9 car. But this is a really interesting, precarious situation. It kind of feels like Denny Hamlin, even though he says all the right things in public, is feeling the pressure to not be motorsport's greatest loser.
Speaking of conflicts, before we go to the Dentech bucket here, I don't know if you guys have an opinion on this because we haven't talked about it in a while. But at this point, the highest paid broadcaster in broadcasting, Tom Brady, is distracting me during games because he's still bad at this. Like, it's not even that he's neutral or mediocre or milquetoast or just there and I don't notice it. I'm noticing, and he's distracting me with it not being good. Has Tom Brady done anything during any of these broadcasts that you guys remember? Never mind the way that Tony Romo started, where he was correctly predicting plays. Is there anything memorable that Tom Brady is giving the Fox broadcast for that $375 million guaranteed dollars that any of you have from the first 4 weeks of the season that would indicate that he has improved at this to you?
No, but that's not why they pay him that money. I mean, you know that. They pay him that money so that he's in the room with potential sponsors and advertisers. Like that's literally
But he's distracting me during the broadcast. That can't be like
it's not about you, Dan. They don't care care about you.
Well, but
they don't care about us.
Okay, but you don't. I guess I'm asking you: I'm noticing when he's doing things incorrectly. I'm not noticing when he's doing them correctly. And at this point, he needs to just be an offensive lineman. Don't get a penalty so I don't notice you.
I was hopeful with Eagles Bucks because I think that was probably the best game of his career last year because he was giving us insight into the whole like weird dynamic with him and Baker replacing him and being successful despite the vibes being totally different. And I was eager for that, but he's not meeting with these guys, so there's not much to build on over there, and that's really impacting him. I thought, all right, if he's allowed to be in these meetings like he wasn't allowed last year, we'd get a better Tom Brady. I was confused as to why they decided to allow it, and that all unraveled with one still image of him in the Raiders press box. But it doesn't feel like a big game when he is on it. I find myself listening to Greg Olsen, missing him on the bigger games. I was wrong about this. I thought Tom Brady would lean on his experience and storytelling because no one has experienced more for the audience than Tom Brady. And we're just dying to hear all these stories. It hasn't worked out at all, and there doesn't seem to be room for improvement.
What a surprise. You can't just say, hey, I'm going to be a good broadcaster and be a good broadcaster. You can't just say, hey, I'm here. I'm top guy now.
You think you can just be in bed and be a good broadcaster?
Not everyone could do this.
Let me rephrase. There's plenty of room for improvement. He doesn't seem capable of improving.
If he hasn't improved yet, what gives you the indication that he's going to improve? Because I've seen no indication so far as we prepare to go to the Den Tech bucket that he's capable of making memorable content.
I mean, Dan, in QB fashion, Sam Darnold was bad for a long time, and then he got good. Geno Smith the same way. Like maybe Brady will take a couple of years and be good.
That's not how it works in broadcasting. Guys that are thought to be bad, they get Jason Witten.
Oh no!
Like people with primetime, big marquee jobs. Maybe we do this experiment for a couple of seasons, but at a certain point, we gotta go.
Not as long though as to Tony's point, he keeps adding value and making sales. Like they'll keep if he's not good at it, but he's bringing in a ton of money for them. They're gonna keep him around.
The Bucket is presented by Dentech's Ultimate Fantasy Football Punishment. Learn more and sign up your league at dentech.com.
Tony's going first here, and finally people are paying their punishments around here. Tony, what did you get?
Picked a good one, Dan. Let's see. I got the Steelers.
The Steelers are, where are they here?
The Steelers? They might be on a bye.
They're on a bye week.
Yeah,
congratulations, Tony.
The bye teams are Atlanta, Chicago, Green Bay, and Pittsburgh.
I'm undefeated this season.
Early buys.
Zaz also has a bye because he's got the golden helmet of life for 3 straight weeks. Congratulations to Sleepy Zaz.
Thank you.
Mike, go ahead and select from the bucket, please.
I lost last week, but I'm taking my sweet time to pay this off because I don't see Udonis Haslam here enforcing. Also, thoughts Old Money Charlie, who's got a health battle ahead of him. We love you, Charlie, a former Reaper in his own right.
Wait a minute, the Reaper's not always the same Reaper?
It might still be Charlie.
Probably I shouldn't have invoked the Reaper there.
Get well,
Jacksonville
Charlie.
Jaguars, I'm putting that back. They got the Kansas City Chiefs.
Jags are at home. They're a 3.5-point dog against the Chiefs.
Risky.
Charlie will be fine.
Kind of like the Jags.
Touch base with Charlie yesterday.
Odd timing and judgment from you.
Well, we haven't said it. We haven't said it. This one's really bad. I downgraded severely. Everybody is out for the San Francisco 49ers today. Everybody.
The 49ers are playing against the Rams, and that line has gone up to 9.5. It started at like 3 or 4.
No Purdy, no Jennings, no Kittle, no Pearsall. I mean, they got white guys all over the field, and even the white guys are not on the field.
Mac Jones.
I don't think football is for Jawan Jennings. Guy gets hurt every game.
Billy, go ahead and select.
Got the Seahawks. 3.5-point favorites against the Bucks. I'm putting that back.
I like them too.
You don't like that?
I like that.
Seahawks at home is a 3.5-point favorite. You don't like that?
I'm with Billy. I like the Bucks.
It's one of the biggest favorites of the week.
He doesn't like them.
I got the Colts, 7.5-point favorites at home
Look at
against
that.
the Raiders.
I'm jealous of
Look
how
at that,
it
Billy.
worked out for you.
You are a brave spirit,
Spiro
Billy.
Diaz on that call for sure.
Roy is going now.
Moel E. Cox.
I have the Arizona Cardinals.
They're a big favorite, 7.5-point favorite
keeping it-
against Tennessee.
Come on, Roy. Live dangerously.
Roy.
No.
Chris
This is the
Cody's
week
going to
Cam
go
Ward turns it
now.
around.
All right, here we go. Rummaging.
He got in trouble for his quote.
I got the Packers. It feels like. Oh, bye. Loving it.
I'm jealous of how well this is going for everybody else.
Cam Ward got in trouble for saying they were ass?
Yeah,
I
for
mean,
keeping
they are.
a buck. Well, yeah, she got. They didn't want the rookie saying that.
He's a double agent, huh?
I don't like this Castellanos thing.
Yeah, that's
No.
weird.
You talk to Carson Becker, you don't talk to anybody.
Reaper, climb over Zaz. Don't walk around the camera.
You want to hand me the bucket, Reaper?
No, you can't have two hands on a bucket.
Oh, I don't like that. Conflict of interest, Reaper. I don't like that.
Not a good look, Reaper.
Don't do that, Reaper.
Reaper, you want to walk all the way
UG's gonna
around?
hate
Because
that.
all of a sudden they're militant about how they're
UG.
protecting the rules
UG
around the
is gonna
bucket when
hate
they
that.
have
How you do anything is how you do everything.
That's right.
Powerful.
I love how happy the Reaper seems.
I got the Dolphins at Carolina.
Ooh, that's good.
You're putting up black?
Wow.
Jeez.
You're going to regret that. Remember
like
their
it.
offensive lineman?
Classic
Yeah, you
rotor.
mentioned that. How did I pick it again?
Whoa!
It's still gonna work out for you. No.
What?
It's all right. It's all right. It's all right.
Am I supposed
Jealous.
to? I don't think that's how that's supposed to work.
That's how it works. That's why you put it back, because that chance is always live. I think everybody survives except for me. I'm a guaranteed L.
So the Dolphins are going on the road to Carolina, and I don't know why you would trust that team on the road.
Carbs.
And I also don't know when we talk about Kansas City and Jacksonville. Mike Ryan threw back Jacksonville. Kansas City is a big favorite in that game. Like, to make them a big favorite on the road in a Monday night game is giving them a lot of credit for what happened against Baltimore. Chris, you say it's not that big a favorite. They're telling me that they think that the Chiefs are 7 points better than the Jags if they're making them on a Monday night game. I think Monday night dogs cover at a 70% clip throughout the history of Monday Night Football, because you're the only game, and on Monday night it might be even a little bit higher than that. The Chiefs evidently changed a whole lot of opinions just with Xavier Worthy coming
they're
back.
a good team.
The rule for if it's a big line or not is if it's less than 5, small line. If it's 5 or more, big line.
The only reason that I say 3.5 points is a big line is because games in that sport are so close. I mentioned that last week it was weird to see in the witching hour, as they went into the witching hour, the only one-score game was Bills and Saints, because the last few weeks of the witching hour, and honestly the last 3 years of the witching hour, what they've done in that sport to legislate equality is a bit crazy. It's basketball with its salary cap does not create the kind of parity that football does. There is nothing like football in terms of creating these teams are close, and you've seen very little this season that you can describe as a surprise. The Saints play the Bills close and you're surprised, even though the Bills, the record of the Bills' opponents is terrible. Cleveland beating Green Bay
Biggest surprise this
is
season
a
so far.
surprise, and it can only be so much of a surprise because Cleveland's at home and the spread is 7 points. But you've seen very few double-digit spreads this year.
Yeah, I would point out, though, yeah, well, it's hard to do it in the NBA. They do have 7 consecutive unique champions, you know. Now going into the year, like, you kind of know who those teams could be that could win, but you got a different team winning the whole thing every year now.
Oh, but here's what I'm maintaining, though. You're right. After decades of basketball being totally lopsided by this, the champions are indeed more random over the last 7 years empirically than they've ever been. But you know what's not happening in those playoff games? Buzzer beaters, close games, these 3-point games at the end where all of a sudden somebody's hitting a shot you remember forever because the 3-point shot has made it so the distortions in these game 7s are always 20, 30-point games. They're not close. They're double-digit games. Football's never that. Like, football, it's weird when I'm watching last weekend and the games aren't close in the witching hour, where I'm just now at this point expecting, if you're giving me 8 or 9 games, half of them at the end are going to be everybody's tearing each other's heads off to get 6 yards.
And it was almost like the Super Bowl last year, right? The Super Bowl was a blowout, and everybody's like, oh, damn, this was supposed to be a great game. They had played 2 years prior, and it was a great game there. And it's like seeing a blowout in that sport just kind of feels weird now.
I will say something that I don't love at the end of these NFL games, which, you know, most of them are close. I don't like, because the kicking is so good now. You start like the final drive on the 30-yard line. All right, if I pick up 30 yards, I'm ready to kick a field goal at the buzzer. Like you don't get these long drives to win a game anymore.
It's unsatisfying. Vic Fangio, of all people, has had some opinions on the kicking. I will say, though, when you guys go ahead and name them, the Seahawks crushed the Saints. Name all the games. The Carolina crushed the Falcons. Name all of the games this season where somebody goes out there and just wins by 3 or 4 touchdowns, and the game is decided very early.
Patriots, Panthers last week.
Colts, Dolphins, Lions, Browns last week, even though...
Panthers, Falcons.
Yeah, that was...
No, I mentioned that, but it's half a dozen. They're playing a lot of games. To play a month's worth of games and you can name the 6 of them because there aren't that many is a little bit nuts. But let's play Vic Fangio talking about what's he talking about here? Is he talking about the number of missed kicks this season?
Oh, no. He's talking about the length of these kicks and how it's changed the games. And, he might accuse people of doing some stuff.
These kicking balls that they changed this year have drastically changed the kicking game. So it's almost like they need an asterisk here, like it was the live ball era. Or the asterisk for those home runs Bonds and Sosa and McGuire were hitting.
Is the shape different?
No. In years past, the officials would rub them down or other people would rub them down and you play with them. Now the balls are in-house all week and they kick those balls that they've had and nobody else touches them. I mean, the guy in Dallas is going to hit a 70-plus yarder this year. You can just book it. It's drastically changed the game, the kicking game and the field goal. Guys have longer range than they used to. Kind of like Brady Anderson with the Orioles. And we went from 15 homers to 50 in 1 year.
You used a performance-enhancing drug.
I am insinuating that.
Which reminds me, when we invoked how does Aroldis Chapman do it at his age? Whoa. In that sport.
That's reckless.
He's
no,
Cuban.
It was reckless of us to not mention it. No?
It was reckless of us to talk about him and not Crochet with how great he was that game 1.
I'm gonna tell you something. That's kind of BS that you get to just get a ball, a different ball, a ball that no one's touched to kick. You should have to use the ball that was used the previous play.
I think that the other team, I rub down the other team's balls, they rub down my balls.
Whoa! None of that is how football works. Each team always uses their own balls.
That's what apparently it used to be a league thing, and now the teams.
Well, you have to use the ball from the previous play.
Now there's just kicking balls, is what he's saying.
You guys mentioned that New England-Carolina game, and it made me think of Chaminade alum Chris Myers walking through football purgatory, always getting that game. And I know he just looks at the schedule and he's like, bleep you, Fox. Like, just bleep all
I think he looks ahead at the whole week's schedule. He's just like, that's my game.
They're never going to let Chris Myers be anything other than the guy broadcasting the 6th game. They're not allowing him room for promotion as they paid Tom Brady $375 million to be terrible.
Do you think he books the flight before he gets the actual
There is
Fox
nobody
schedule?
more unhappy that the Bucs are good with Baker than Chris Myers, because you could always guarantee, you could say your watch to it, Chris Myers was on the Bucs call. Do you think when the Colts schedule comes out, Spiro Didis just puts that on the fridge? He's like, he knows exactly where he's going to be.
If the Raiders are playing the Colts, he is there. He's going to be there this week. I don't even know, but I know he's there.
No, he's got to be there.
I'm going to check.
Carolina, that game, Carolina-New England.
Ooh, that game's on Fox. Spiro will not be there.
I did not want to watch that game. I had no interest. I haven't wanted to watch a game. What were you guys saying of Carolina's for a while? What were you guys?
The two offensive linemen.
There was somebody there was a team we were talking about in the other room the last couple of days that someone identified them as the worst franchise in all of sports. And it got me to thinking, because through my lifetime, the Clippers and the Lions are sort of viewed as that's the worst franchise there is. And somewhere in there, the Charlotte Bobcats get to skate a little bit.
I've been recommending the Angels get in this conversation when you consider the resources they've applied to not be as bad as they've been.
That was the conversation we were having. You mentioned the Angels because Albert Pujols is going to be their manager, and you were wondering whether the Angels were the worst franchise in all of sports.
My guy Spiro Didis has Tennessee at Arizona.
We knew it. AFC South tie.
By the way, how does Fox steal feel a classic CBS game like Colts and Raiders. That is a CBS first-class game. There is no way that it should be played on Fox, and that game should always be at 4:25.
Guess where? Tell me where Chris Myers is going to end up this week, because I do believe that when Chris Myers gets Carolina, when he gets Carolina and the Patriots, he's saying bleep his bosses because he's not allowed any upward mobility calling football games.
This weekend, Chris Myers has Vegas at Indianapolis.
If I grab a random fan, I'm like, hey, do you follow baseball? Oh, kind of tangentially. All right, name the 3 best players of this generation. They might go off the top of their head. Trout, Ohtani, Pujols. And I'd be like, they played on the same team at the same time, and they were bad.
Folks, listen up. With DraftKings Sportsbook, every touchdown can bring you closer to cashing in. From first TD scorer to live in-game bets, every snap's a sweat. Just $5, and bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll score $200 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use code Dan. That's code Dan to turn $5 into $200 in bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours.
If Spiro Dides wants to maybe get a ticket to that game, I got a place and a recommendation. Game Time.
Yeah.
Spiro, download the Game Time app. You can take the guesswork out of buying NFL tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code Dan. You get $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Swipe, tap, ticket, go.
He seems like a Game Time guy.
You know what? I'm going to do this because of how shitty that contribution was. Like, you just didn't offer anything in the way of...
It was a cherry on top of what Mike did.
No,
Minor
that was
penalty,
good.
2 minutes for a shit contribution.
No!
I was the cherry. Mike was the ice cream.
He was
I
a
was
cherry.
the cherry.
He was a cherry.
Try to be a cherry.
Seems like a Game Time guy. Like, it just wasn't a contribution.
That seems. He is a Game Time guy.
It was just speaking to be heard. It was useless. So we've got 3 baseball games today that are fun. And I will tell you that yesterday I'm driving home and I'm listening to Guardians Tigers, and the Tigers keep getting base runners against Cleveland, and they keep stranding base runners. And I'm listening, and I really enjoy still old-timey radio on a baseball broadcast. And the Cleveland announcers are so excited because their team's just okay. They're -6 run differential this season. They have 3 guys batting under 200 in the lineup, but the Tigers collapsed late in the season and Cleveland won like 17 of 19 games. And the announcer, as you hear the crowd, the ambient noise, and they're talking about how much they love October, the announcer nails it with the following sentence. Everyone is standing, some of them breathing. Because the Tigers had runners on base all the time. And something that's happening in that sport, and Mike, I know you're sort of new to it here. You gathered for playoff baseball, and Zaz, I know you love playoff baseball.
I do.
The bases loaded situation does not matter anymore for offenses because of the way that pitchers are now striking out 1/4 of the hitters, and in the case of Mason Miller, striking out all 7 guys he's faced because everything he's throwing up there is triple digits.
You're so right. It's so used to be, bases loaded, guaranteed runs are going to score now.
Yeah, what's a miss rate? I know the strikeouts are probably a solid indicator on that, but when you have bases loaded, you're like, all right, at least we can get bat to ball in this situation. And Aroldis Chapman figures it out, and people don't even have an opportunity to make a play on it.
But league average, is 22% of the hitters strike out. But here's the thing. They strike out against all the bad teams, too. The teams with pitching now who have aces going on the front, you've seen most of these games, except the Dodger games, are low scoring. Everyone who's going out there throwing is throwing so hard that it is very difficult to score.
Which I don't mind. I think there's high drama in these situations where you essentially have the tying run at the dish every inning. That's fine. I love that they really fixed this game. Again, just bombing in for the playoffs here. These games are going so quick because even before playoff games, even if they were low-scoring
well, that's mostly an effect of the pitchers being so great, is that these playoff games are lower scoring, right?
I mean, but there have been pitchers duels that back in the 90s that would take forever.
Well, yeah, because you could switch the relief pitchers like every batter. You're right. That rule right there, I would imagine, has really helped.
I saw this change, I'm going to say 3 or 4 years ago, where it didn't matter getting a runner to third or getting runners on first and third just stopped mattering because it's so hard to make contact and even hit a ball to the outfield that the number – you can't play the way the Royals won the championship anymore, bunting and stealing bases and doing that stuff.
They were ahead of it, though, when it came to the bullpen. Now everybody is basically that Royals bullpen.
Billy, have you been excited by the baseball that you've been watching? Have they lured you in here recently with these games? Because Yankees-Red Sox is a fun one. Aaron Judge is in a really difficult spot.
Am I the only one rooting for the Yankees, by the way? Like, I like when the Yankees keep advancing in playoffs.
Why?
Because they're interesting. Like I know the Yankees. They're interesting. There's always drama surrounding them. I want to keep the conversation going about Aaron Judge. I like when the Yankees are involved.
But you want him to ultimately lose. Like, you want him to keep winning to then lose?
Yeah, I don't need them to win, but like I enjoyed last year when they got to the World Series. So yeah, I think you're right. I think so.
I'm with Zaz. I want them in it, but I want this Judge narrative to I want him to come up in a big spot. I want him to do bad, and then I want to crush him the next day.
Yep.
The Dodgers have now advanced to the division round 13 straight times. So money may not guarantee happiness, but it does guarantee you the divisional round if you're the Dodgers.
It doesn't guarantee you winning the lottery, but you get way more lottery tickets to win the lottery.
Not for the Mets.
Pitch tipping also. Big pitch tipping scandal.
Do you guys know the last time the Reds won a playoff series? Do you want to guess the last time? Because they got dragged by the Dodgers. The Dodgers made it look very easy. They're the only team that actually hit the ball a ton in this first round.
91.
Pitches, yeah.
Did they? I remember Roy Halladay threw a perfect game in the playoffs against Brandon Phillips' Cincinnati Reds. Maybe that wasn't the wild card. Maybe it was that year.
1995.
Whoa!
The last time.
Big red machine.
That is not the big red machine. The big red machine was in the 70s.
Boy, do you even follow baseball, Billy?
Jeremy is going to cover some of this in Pitch Clock in moments. Billy, did you want to offer Jeremy an apology even though he's not here today?
Nah.
Because
We're good. I did at one point in time, but I've moved past that because Jeremy's so Jeremy that it's just we're good. We don't need to apologize.
Well, what was the nature of what you were considering apologizing for?
I felt like maybe I advanced a narrative that he may have been having an inappropriate relationship with a former guest and possibly friend of the show. But I will say that all of the social media posts after the fact kind of left a lot of questions unanswered, I would say. So I don't think that after, throwing it out there, something that we were all kind of wondering what was going on there, I thought maybe that wasn't great. But, I mean, they did nothing to dispel those rumors.
That's what I'm saying. Answer some tough questions, Jeremy. I don't think you have anything to apologize for. I'm on your side, Billy.
Thank you.
Well, it was accusatory in nature, and Jeremy loves sports, loves baseball, and
older women.
We don't
and men.
We don't know if he loves older women or not. You keep making
You
this.
could assume that one would assume.
That's what we're trying to get to the bottom of, Dan.
He just flew to New York to experience all things New York and Boston. And Zaslow's the only one among us today rooting for the Yankees. I'm rooting for Yankee pain. I grew up a Yankee fan. I've told you this story before. Their spring training was in Fort Lauderdale. We did not have pro sports except for the Dolphins back then. So when baseball came to town, it felt like a giant thing. But there are so many New Yorkers in Miami who have infected Miami with their New York that I have since now just enjoyed New York suffering in all sports.
Right, but isn't it Max suffering if they get the tease of last year and then they lose in the World Series.
Why is he smiling like that?
Photo of Jeremy behind me?
Dan, you may need to put the reckless speculation on just to cover me. Can you hit it for a second?
Okay, but I thought this started with Billy wanting to apologize.
I cleared my chest.
I may need to apologize after this.
I may apologize to Jeremy on Mystery Crate this week. We'll see how I'm feeling.
Okay.
Time to throw away all journalistic credibility and get reckless. Here is something we like to call reckless speculation.
You're good.
You're good.
Thank you. If you take a look at the picture that's on your screen right now behind Billy, is it reckless to say, looks like Jeremy's had some work done. The eyebrows on the top right here look a little high.
I get what you're saying.
Like there's a little bit of some injections.
He's lost a lot of weight recently.
I don't think it's the weight, though. I don't think it's the weight. It's the eyebrows.
I think it just looks weird because he's never had a smile that big on his face.
You think he's got some talks?
I mean, she did tweet out that he's her boy toy.
She called him a handsome boy a couple
She said,
times.
I'd do anything for a cute boy in one of the videos.
Yeah, she's instigating matters. Is she on pitch clock? Do we know the guest
No,
that is
it's
on
Adnan.
pitch clock? Okay, so it's Adnan.
Might have been awkward, I guess, for them.
I am going to consume all of this stuff this afternoon, but Yankees, Red Sox being able to give us, to the right to play the Blue Jays. I just did not have that happening this season. That is not.
Blue Jays are good, Dan?
Yeah, the Blue Jays won the division. The Blue Jays got the bye.
They were supposed to be good for like the last 5 years with all these young guys, and then it wasn't really panning out, and now it has.
It has. What are you interested in here, Billy? Have they lured you in? Is Jeremy going to lure you in?
No, Jeremy's not, but baseball will. Game 3. Did we sufficiently apologize and clean up that situation with Jeremy? Like, is that fine?
The Botox or no?
Is that resolved?
I don't know what you've done here. I thought you were going to apologize to Jeremy, and then you said, I don't apologize, and now you've pointed out that Jane Levy exacerbated matters and threw lighter fluid all over the situation by calling him a boy toy and everything else.
And Jeremy's had work done.
Well, that was you guys. If anyone has to apologize for that, that was you guys.
That was not you guys. It was just Tony.
What?
It was just Tony and
Billy
Mike.
agreed.
And Mike.
No, I said he's smiling. Look, I'm very uncomfortable with how this show is treating Jeremy this week. If it wasn't for Jane actually furthering this conversation, I'd be made very uncomfortable by it. It's unfair. People normalize platonic relationships between 20-somethings and older women.
And men. There's an older gentleman there, too, and they talked about writing and what have you and whatever.
Well put, as always. The eloquent Billy Gill always providing commentary that makes him a professional broadcaster.
There's a big age gap there. I don't know what commonalities do you have besides baseball. That's why I think it's fine. It's the baseball
love of sports.
Timeless game.
Love of it. Jeremy did something, and Billy, you at one time, I don't know when you became such a hardened cynic, but
no.
You at one time flew to Detroit to watch Miguel Cabrera get his 3,000th hit and stayed there for like 4 days because he wouldn't get it immediately and there was a rainout.
Well, I mean, I was there. I had no. If we're going to go back and we're going to tell the story, I had to stay there because of that damn Aaron Boone, who should be fired, who decided to intentionally walk Miguel Cabrera on his last at-bat of that first game. And then the next day there was a rainout, and then there was a doubleheader the following day, and thankfully, mercifully, we got it done in the first game, so I didn't have a fourth Tigers game because I showed up at that second Tigers game that got rained out. My gosh. And my family was like, oh, this will be a fun adventure. And I was like, what do I do with a newborn in Detroit for 4 days? We can only go to Little Caesars so many times.
Tony, he just wanted to see Cabrera hit a little
Well, because if we're going to go
right
back to
field.
that, David Samson stole Ichiro's 3,000th hit from me, so I was owed a 3,000th hit. There's a lot of people who wronged me in that scenario.
In our defense,
except Colin from Sheets and Giggles because he paid the tab.
If Billy had gone with Jane Levy, we probably would have commented on it.
What do you mean?
We would have commented. Dan's asking like, you
yeah,
went to
I went with
Detroit.
my family. I didn't abandon my family. Jeremy's a married man, and he left his family behind to go philander up there in playoff games. Allegedly.
Allegedly is the work done. We don't know.
Can you say allegedly if you're the person that's starting the allegation?
What do you mean?
Tony just tried
Tony's
to
the one.
himself.
If anyone should apologize for anything, it's Tony who said that Jeremy's had work done.
It looks tasteful, though.
I mean, if he's done work, he's done a good job of hiding
That's
it.
what I'm saying. It's tastefully done. The eyebrows are a little
Yeah.
bit higher than they usually are.
Some would
That's all
say
I'm
he should get his money back because it's hard to tell if he has or hasn't had work done. And
No,
if you wanna,
that's how you know it's good, though, Billy.
But if you want to
can't
pay,
tell,
you
that's
want to
good.
see like results. Like, if I were to get implants, I'm not going to get an A cup, you know?
I texted Jeremy. We're going to get an answer.
Give me
in a second.
bazungas.
Jeremy loves sports still. He has not been beaten down by the daily grind of doing a show, so he flies to New York excitedly and does Yankees Red Sox.
Possibly with work done, we don't know.
And Yankees Red Sox today. If I can't get you excited about Yankees Red Sox today, you guys are never going to do baseball.
I'm excited. What time is it?
Yeah, game 3.
It's the night game. It's the prime time.
All right,
Head-to-head with football.
8 o'clock.
I will be following. I'll watch the other ones.
TNF,
A
though,
3-5-8 situation today.
You're going to watch Rams 49ers, that broken
gotta think.
49ers team. You're going to go get them on
See how Mac
Amazon.
Jones
I'm
does.
going to have some sweetbreads and an Argentinian steakhouse. That's
It's
what I'm
Seminoles week, Dan.
doing. Yes, FSU week. I head up to Tally.
Jeremy Taché, clearly with work done. The boy toy is next.
So we're just talking about, you got head-to-head tonight. You got Yankees and Red Sox deciding game 3, and you got Thursday Night Football. What are the ratings going to look like tomorrow, you think? Like, Thursday Night Football is going to it's going to dominate it, right?
It's on Prime.
It's on Amazon Prime, so it's hard to apples.
Oh, yeah. But if it was on regular TV and we get ratings, the Thursday Night Football is going to crush it, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's so stupid.
Yeah, I mean, it airs. The games air in the local market, and you got 2 big local market. Probably the rating from San Francisco and LA alone might come close.
Yeah. Juju, you got some Thursday Thunder for us?
Yes, sir. Before I get to Thursday Thunder, I would also like to apologize to Jeremy just because I'm here. I know that lawsuit. Excuse me.
Makes you
I know
emotional.
that lawsuit. Right, that lawsuit is going to be crazy, so I apologize to Jeremy as well.
He's joining my lawsuit? Perfect, another one.
That's right. It's Thursday Thunder, and it's presented by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours. What up, Juju?
What up, y'all? 2 for 3 again last week. What a shame. But tonight, we back. I'm taking the Los Angeles Rams first leg, minus 8.5 points. Bear with me, guys. I'm sick as a dog. 8.5 points for the Rams tonight. Second leg, I'm going Puka Nacua for over 7 receptions tonight. Yes, sir. Last leg, there's a lot of injuries going on with the San Francisco 49ers receiving corps. So he's going to look to reliable right now. And I think that my boy Jake Tonjes has become a little bit reliable. So we're going with Jake Tonjes over 3 receptions tonight in the game. Get it in.
I mean, that Puka Nacua number seems juicy.
Might have that in the first half.
Right?
No kidding.
A lot of catches, though.
Yeah. All right. Good job there, Juju. Juju, we got a stat of the day, guys?
Ooh.
This is stat of the day.
Yes, sir. I got a stat of the day. Ashton Genty, without the Michael Myers stance, you know he's famous for that. 17.3 touches and 49 total yards. Ashton Genty with the Michael Myers stance, 23 touches, 155 total yards, and 3 touchdowns. Back to you guys.
Good sample.
I like this.
Yeah, so we're talking less than 3 yards a carry versus like 7 yards a carry. All right, why don't we stand like Michael Myers? Pretty good, right?
You should do it right now.
Nah, man, I'm chilling in my bed, yo.
I agree with you too, Zaz. I want the Yankees to win for some reason. I just would rather see them advance. More fun than the Boston Red Sox. Get them out of here.
Yeah, I mean, it also helps that I really strongly dislike the Boston Red Sox. Like, forget the Boston teams.
How'd this punishment go for you today, by the way?
I don't know. It was okay. The hardest part was staying awake, honestly. It's very comfortable here. You try laying down in the morning for 4 straight hours and tell me you're not going to get sleepy.
Sometimes I'll lay on my couch the way you're laying right now on my side, and my entire right side will fall asleep.
Yeah, you got to be careful.
Yep.
You don't
got to switch it up. Got to keep it fresh.
Yeah, because that means the blood flow is not good when you get, you start to fall asleep. You know what I'm saying. I don't know why I need to tell you that. Juju, what do you make of Brady? What do you make of Tom Brady as a broadcaster?
I think he definitely can do better. Listening to him, it's a bit rough, but I have that same opinion about Tony Romo and them boys. I think Tony Romo has ruined the broadcasting industry. And I'm saying this, sounding like this today, sick as a dog. I think he's ruined it. I don't like my broadcasters telling me what the flag is before the drama of the referee tells me what the flag is. Let the drama sit. It's a 100-yard touchdown. Oh, it's a flag. And before we even go to the referee, Tony Hickey go, oh, that one's coming back, Jim. It's coming back.
I feel like Tirico's a big one that does this too. Tirico loves to tell you where the penalty is. Oh, that's holding.
You know,
that's coming back.
It's a really interesting thing you just pointed out, Juju, because when a flag is thrown and the officials are getting together, you know what I hate? And I try not to see it, you know? I don't like when the players are surrounding them and the players start like clapping and pointing.
Yeah.
Like, no. I want the referee to announce it. I want to be surprised what the call is.
Aaron Rodgers is a big, hey, we're good here.
I hate that.
Stafford does that too, though.
I hate that. That shouldn't be allowed.
Although when it's my team, I'm happy. I'm like, oh.
Enough with you and stuff that shouldn't be allowed, by the way.
Nah, I'm a good barometer.
I can't believe you said to Stink, stop punching footballs.
That's
I can't
right.
believe you said that to him.
I thought he was going to be on my side too,
Why
you know,
on
as an
earth
offensive
would he
player.
be on your
Because
side?
he's an
Why would you
offensive
think
player.
He's an offensive lineman.
Okay, but still.
He punches for a living.
Punching is not supposed to be allowed.
Tell that to an offensive defensive lineman.
We're not boxing here.
You're not in the trenches. That's the problem.
I've had my hand in the dirt.
You have not had your head in your dirt.
I've had my
I've seen that
hand
hand.
in the
It's
dirt.
clean. It's a clean hand.
Well, I didn't have my hand in the dirt today.
Those rings are clean. I see
Still in bed.
clean hands.
Juju, you got some polls update for us? What do we got?
Yes, sir. Got a quick poll today. How do you like your coffee? Black or other? 41% of the audience said black.
I love the Danny Tanner jacket you got going on right now, Juju.
Thank you, brother. I also agree with you, Mike, from earlier. I have never heard a third-string quarterback interview in my entire life. So let's get over this Shedeur stuff. Like, he's a third-string quarterback. Stay in your place.
It's a total byproduct of ESPN talking about him because they obviously run the numbers and know it's a topic that people are into.
Yeah, but he doesn't have to. He doesn't have to talk to the media. He is not obligated to talk to the media.
I think they have media availabilities. He's at his locker.
They
and
do.
he's
Like
answering
one day a
questions.
week, it's like, okay, the quarterbacks are available, but he could just be like, yeah, I got nothing to say.
I think this is the one day a week where they stand by the locker and the assembled media comes in. Look, trust me. I get the Shedeur fatigue. Guy's just asking questions. He's not asking to be a part of this news cycle. There are plenty of times that maybe you could poke holes in that. I think since he's been in Cleveland and the regular season started, the guy's been handling it at least in front of the media like a pro. He's having a little fun there. The two last times we've talked about Shedeur's reactions, he's having fun. It's lighthearted and not disrespectful. It's much ado about nothing.
Right. And look at his haircut. You know he's a Sanders. That thing is usually sharp.
That's
His
what
hair
Roy
look
was
crazy.
asking. Roy was wondering what
He's
was
in
going on
between
there.
cornrows. He's undoing braids. That was you can tell he's a Sanders because already Father Time creeping in on the sides.
But he's locked in on football right now because look at that hair. Goodness gracious. The next poll for Dan showing that Tyreek Hill injury over and over this week, we had to punish him from the audience. And salute to the audience: JoJo, Billy Squibbix, Becky Boo, Jeremiah W, Cloud Feet, Jay Fiero, and DeBro21. What should Dan's punishment be from the listeners? Wear a wig all show, hand in mayo all show, wear a tank top all show, or his kink Halloween costume.
Yeah, he'd love that.
56% of the audience says hand in mayo all show. So Dan, before the year is out, get your mayo on, bro. And those are your polls.
Thanks, Juju.
Thank you, guys.